Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 175. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'm just going to say that I've watched that Drake video way too many times to just get the thing for this featured image for today.
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale.
What's up, internet strangers?
All right, we got some guests with us. First up, the one, the only, Riku-san 1.
Yeah, Corona Trigger, baby. What's good, everybody?
And we got a very, very special guest. We became friends during the ARG podcast, whatever, however you say the name of the podcast. My man, Nick Castro. What's going on, Nick?
What's up, internet? How's it going?
All right, thank you for joining us for episode 175 with Throwdown. This is a pretty monumental thing, even though I forgot to change the title again on Restream. This is not Throw Down Your Questions 174, because Throwdown, episode 175. It's all good, man. So, yeah, Manny, why did you have to do the Drake thing? I know why, but, just tell the fans.
Well, apparently, because, that because of our featured topic for today, Mr. Drake showed up on a streamer's stream, and the whole internet exploded, and me and Tony are just looking around like, confused and dazed as to what the big deal about this is. But
yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, basically we needed a featured image, so Manny had to struggle.
Just for the sake of the joke, I had to, there's no really high resolution shots of Drake from that specific video where all the memes came from. I can't remember the name of the video, by the way. I'm sorry. And just, scraping through the video and getting screenshots of something.
Yeah, it's in the video Miami Hotline Bling or something.
Hotline Bling.
I know in the Hotline Bling.
Mm-hmm. Hotline Miami's the game. See, I'm a gamer, man. I can't get rid of that stuff. But anyway, before we get to the main topic, as always, since Nick, you're a guest here and you're a first-time guest, people need to get to know you better. So tell us, please, your gaming origin story, brother.
All right, so I'm a 90s kid. I was born June 23rd, 1991, the same day as Sonic the Hedgehog. My first system, ironically, was a Sega Genesis, and I got it for Christmas. I don't remember when, maybe like 94. I started gaming pretty early, and Sonic was my my first game, as it was the pack-in game. And you know what? I'll say this, to be honest, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I can't beat it. I can't get that far.
Wow.
Really?
It haunts me to this day, man. I'll beat any game that someone says is unbeatable, but when it comes to Sonic 2, I just can't do it.
That's interesting, because Sonic 2 is...
Sonic 2 is the easier of them.
Where do you get stuck at? I'm curious now.
It's that level on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I get outside and like the wind effects start going, I'm done. I panic. I don't know what it is. It's
That's
like
interesting.
It's like that part in Pixels, man, where Adam Sandler like chokes playing Donkey Kong. Like that's
shit.
me. I need my come to Jesus moment and beat that game.
Yeah, you need to, man, because that game is a classic. That's my second favorite Sonic game. My first favorite Sonic game is actually Sonic CD, which a lot of people have not played, unfortunately.
Surprise.
It's like a classics collection coming out.
Yeah.
We gotta get it on there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But okay, so after the Genesis and all that, did you ever get a Super Nintendo or any of that stuff?
You know what? So yeah, I was never I was never the Nintendo kid on the block. I was the Genesis to PS1 kid on the block. My first game like on PS1 was Cool Borders 2. And I loved the shit out of that game. That was like over the top 90s, like, yeah, bro, let's hit the fucking slubs, dude. Like, I loved that game. And, of course, Crash Bandicoot. I believe I was the only one who voted for Crash on the ArgCast episode 100. Yeah, unfortunately, whatever. He's coming to the Switch and all the other, platforms, so it's all good. But, yeah, and then from there, I bought my, was it N64 Gold Toys R Us edition, which might see it peaking some value here pretty soon as Toys R Us closes its doors, unfortunately.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking my kids this weekend to just go down memory lane one more time. Pixel Dan, he was on Facebook just putting up a bunch of stuff that like hit the feels, about Toys R Us. But yeah, 64 came with Pokemon Stadium. I love the crap out of that game. That game for me is like one of the most like best strategy games ever, and it also has like the best mini games in any game.
Yeah, and what did you think about the transition from like 2D graphics to 3D graphics? 'Cause for you, it was all truncated a little bit. So
yeah, definitely. I was in the middle of so much change. So when I went from like Sonic the Hedgehog to Crash, my mind was blown, and I was almost like overwhelmed as like a little kid, you know, like 5 and 6, going like, so it's not left to right, it's front to back. And then there's times where, like, you know, in Crash, where that ball, you're running towards the screen and you're like, wait, what do I do? You know, it was totally new and like in otherworldly concept. But you know what, like, I transitioned with it pretty well. I understood, you know, I grasped pretty well what was going on. By the time Crash Bandicoot Warped came out, I was like a pro at the 3D platformer.
Nice. And what were some of your favorite games from when you were growing up?
Oh man. Okay, so like Streets of Rage. It's like,
yes.
Beat 'em ups, dude. Beat 'em ups. And you know what is an underrated beat 'em up and overlooked is the Power Rangers the movie game for the Sega Genesis.
Interesting.
That game, oh my gosh. You're fighting the little like Mr. Ooze, henchman, and you just beat him up. Oh god, that game is so much fun. I think I've beaten that game like 20 times, and that was like just as a kid.
But not Sonic 2.
No, not Sonic 2.
I'm gonna give you shit
Green Hill
about
Zone.
that.
I love that shit. I love that shit.
Oh man.
Streets of Rage. Yeah, beat 'em ups for sure. Street Fighter. I have as you can see behind me, maybe Super Street Fighter 2. That's the original copy I got when I was a kid. Of course, like games like Aladdin and whatnot. But obviously, like 007, I think for me has some of the most nostalgia, because it was like, I live in Tucson, Arizona, where it's like 110 degrees during the summer. So kids don't want to be outside during the summer. Ironically, we want to be inside. And that was like my first 4-player experience, and it was amazing, especially with like big head mode and paintball mode. I was like, oh my god, you can alter the game? What?
That's awesome, man. And by the way, I know your answer, but I need to ask anyway. Genesis Aladdin or Super Nintendo Aladdin? Did you hear me, dude?
Oh, he's muted.
Oh, he muted himself. Yeah, you actually muted yourself on the actual Hangouts, dude. On the little tab there. I don't know how. Okay, he's got to check his phone. Because he's on his phone. Even though that's some good ass quality. Like, I don't know how it works on your phone, but if you look at the little like there's some, like, you see where your like little icon is for your head, like right next to this like little microphone. You click on that and you unmute yourself. I want to know how he muted himself in the first place. He wasn't even touching this shit. You see it? No, you're still muted. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Can you even type? Yeah, it's weird when you're on your phone. Nick, hit me up on Twitter.
On his phone?
Yeah, he's streaming on his phone. It looks good.
Yo, man, that's some good ass quality, man.
Yeah.
Like, when he said he's on his phone, I'm like, damn, that's.
Oh, while he's actually writing it.
Writing it on stuff.
What is he?
I can't. Oh, hold on. Let me embiggen him here. That's an actual word now, by the way. Carlos, why did you mute him?
Wait, I have that power?
I didn't know he had that power.
You can actually mute somebody on your thing.
Carlos, unmute this man. And why you? How did you?
How do I do that? I wasn't even.
Click on his name and it should. You're not supposed to have that option. I'm the only one with that fucking option. Let me see if I can unmute this man.
I didn't mute him. I don't even know how. I don't even know how to do that. Man, I'm gonna click on his name. Right click.
Yeah, you see the little tab that pulls down?
Yeah, the little tab.
And it just says on him it's muted.
That mute option is grayed out for me.
Yes, it is too.
Maybe if he tries to leave and come back.
Yeah, Nick, just leave and come back. Just use the same link, dude. That should hopefully. That was weird. Carlos, man, you muting people. You muting our guests, bro?
Fuck.
Yo, man, you're like.
You meeting our guests, man. Now we're having some deep conversations, man. I asking him the ultimate question, Aladdin or Aladdin for Genesis or. Damn, is that his actual? This dude's actually fucking built, by the way. He could kick all our asses.
Which one in the the podcast that you were on. Which one was he? Because you remember I listened to that one.
Yeah, he
There
was.
it is. You should be able to hear him now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
That's fucking weird.
Now
Yeah.
you gotta do the rotate thing on your phone.
Oh, son of a bitch! I'm sorry.
There you go.
I don't got a PC yet, man. I live in an apartment. We're getting ready to buy a house, so it's like there's no space.
I'm amazed at the quality of the phone, though, man. What phone?
I
you
got
rocking?
the iPhone 8 Plus.
No wonder, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was asking you a very important question, man. Aladdin
Mm-hmm.
for the Genesis or the Super Nintendo?
Okay, so Aladdin for the Genesis. The animation was like top quality.
I would have kicked you right out of this podcast if you
Well,
answered otherwise.
How can you doubt that? They literally had Disney animators work on the goddamn game.
Right?
Like, hey, we got some Capcom guys doing some stuff, and then we
Yeah.
it Disney people doing the rest.
Yeah.
Here's
and-
a fun
go ahead.
little thing, a fun little fact about those games. Did you know that it was actually within Robin Williams' contract to not have a lot of the genie show up in those games?
Really?
In any other media, and because of a dispute that happened with him, that is why he is not in the Aladdin straight to video stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what? I think I heard about that.
Yeah, because they started putting him in putting the genie on all kinds of stuff, and that was a breach of Robin Williams' contract.
Yeah, he's all over the game.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, this is just for my curiosity. How did you like come around to like learning about Robert Workman and David's podcast?
You know what? I was pretty new to listening to podcasts around the beginning of last year. I found, I renovate apartments for a living, so I found a lot of alone time, and I was like, you know what? Like listening to the same albums over and over again gets kind of old. And so I typed video games in my Apple Podcasts, and Kelsey Lewin and Cody Spencer's podcast came up. What is it, like a video game Blitz or Game Blitz podcast? Yeah. And then from there, it showed me a whole other slew of gaming podcasts. So I found the ArgCast, and I'm a huge retro gamer, and I was just like, this is right down my alley. I found them on Facebook. I friend requested them, talked to them, and I sent them a couple of game reviews that I wrote myself, and just to have them grade them. And it eventually led to me getting an offer from Don't Feed the Gamers, but unfortunately I had to turn that down because my only working computer was my laptop, and my kids spilled orange juice on my laptop. So
these things happen, man.
It happens.
Yeah. By the way, I almost forgot the other thing, like, because you're like a cosplayer too, right? And like, you're known for being like Diesel Mario and shit.
Right. Yeah. Super buff Mario. Yeah.
Yeah. Super. There you go. Show people your guns too, man.
There we go.
Look, that's amazing, man. Shit.
Yeah. There we go. Here we go.
Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah.
Damn.
For the ladies out there.
Yeah, for the lady. Hey, listen, man.
For all them ladies out there.
Yeah, we're all inclusive on this podcast.
Yeah.
The
ladies, man.
That's awesome. So, I mean, what made you decide, like, because Sonic was like your main guy, right? Like, why did you decide, hey, I'm going to be Mario? Like, enemy.
So yeah, it was after I attended Tucson Comic-Con. I was Bardock, and I got tons of feedback saying, you know what, dude, you totally look into like what is it, like battle-ifying characters?
Yeah.
So I was like,
is that what they call it? Battle-ifying?
Battle-ifying, warrior-ifying, whatever, And I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And I thought I was going to the the Game On Expo in Phoenix, and I was like, you know what can I do that's not as labor intensive? Because making Saiyan armor out of EVA foam is a pain in the ass. So I was like, what can I do that's just maybe easy going for this cosplay going on? And I was Mario. I grew up my stash. I tore the shit out of some Dickies overalls, bought some boots, and I rocked it, and it became my my staying cosplay, like what people will know me for. I had freaking like the best Lara Croft I had ever seen come up to me and go, "Oh my god, this is amazing! You're like Super Mario straight out of Smash Bros. Come here, take a picture with me." And that's when I knew I was like, I think I struck something here. And
That's
so
amazing.
ever since then, I was like, you know what? Mario isn't always cute and cuddly. Like, what the fuck happens when he fights Bowser? What is he gonna look like when he's done? You know what I mean? So that's where I got my inspiration from. And yeah, like, I'm a bodybuilding champion. I have done other shows in the past, you know, where I stand up in front of 500 people in my mankini and rock my shit. And I wanted to find a way to infuse fitness and cosplay, because I'm kind of one of those cosplay purists where it's like, if you don't look the part, maybe you shouldn't do it. But again, I'm not judging people, you know, if they're any shape or size. I'm a perfectionist. So if I'm gonna cosplay as Goku, I better fucking look like Goku.
Yeah, there you go. But I gotta ask the obvious. I'm like, hold on, if you're a perfectionist, but you're not like a big fat Italian guy playing Mario.
Yeah, right. So that was the whole battlifying effect.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, with cosplay is interesting because I'm like, on the one hand, because I'm like, I kind of want them to be, you know, pure too, but at the same time, cosplay is about like the spirit of it. Like, you just want to be the character, so it kind of doesn't matter what you look like. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a weird thing, you know?
Yeah, and right now too, especially with like the whole, you know, like body image positive movement going on.
Yeah.
You really got to be careful with what you say, and that's why I kind of like backtrack on not necessarily backtrack, but just clarify what I mean by like being a perfectionist. Like, if I'm gonna cosplay as Wario, I'm probably gonna go on a bulk season for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if I'm gonna cosplay as, you know, like the Green Lantern, and I'm gonna wear like, you know, skin tight Under Armour type outfits, then I need to work out. But that's just me. You know, I know tons of other cosplayers like Ivy Doom Kitty, who rock anything that they put on. You know, and I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to look as best as I can and be as sharp as I can in my mind. You know, like when I see something in my head, I want to bring that as pure as I can onto the physical platform.
Yeah, man, that's the mark of an artist right there, man. That's fucking awesome. You know,
be an really easy one for you.
What's
Bearded Ryu.
Yeah, you know what? hey, look at this. Look at this.
There you go.
Player 2 Ryu, right there.
You go.
Yeah,
nice. There you go. Yeah, you position yourself in like the best spot. You got all that cool shit behind you. That's awesome, dude. All right, man. So before we start once again, because you know we got to ask Riku what he's been doing lately, man. Riku, how many platinums you got, man? What you been up to, man? We hear you, man.
How many platinums I got? Nigga, I haven't gotten a platinum all year long, Tony.
Yeah. But
slacking, son.
But the years,
we're only like 3 months.
You know what I'm saying, man?
But the old Riku would have had like 6 platinums by now.
Yeah, that is true.
So if you met past Riku, he'd be like, "Yo, how many platinums you got now?" And you'd be like,
152. He's like,
"What?
That's it? What happened now?" I mean, I've been playing Monster Hunter. I've been slowing down on that, like everybody, waiting for that DLC to drop. The City of Final Fantasy, I've been trying to play that on the side. Dynasty Warriors 9 is a fucking catastrophe piece of shit. We're not going to talk about that.
You're going to talk about Fight Club?
Fight Club, huh?
Fight Club.
Yeah, and Chrono Trigger. I'm still drilling into classics. Tony, after Chrono Trigger, I'm gonna play some Ease 8 Lacrimosa of Donna on my Vita.
Oh shit!
And then after that, you know, it's time. You know what we was talking about and the whole, you know.
Should we announce it now or should we wait? Because that's gonna be fun.
I think we should wait because nothing's set in stone yet. But that is the next game that I intend on playing after Ease 8. I'm trying to get ready for Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to be there with Manny, you know, one of the only people on this podcast that care about Kingdom Hearts.
We're going to be the only guys playing that.
We ready for Donald Duck, you know. I got my Donald Duck impression.
Yeah.
Oh, he beat me. I should. No, I care about Kingdom Hearts. I'm trying to knock out some of the games that would prepare me for Kingdom Hearts.
I never bothered with any of the, you know, the spin-off games. I know there's like some things that somewhat connected to it. I'm like, it's just too much to keep track of. I'm like at 2. Whatever happened at 2, and maybe that DS game that they made between 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah. My friend, he's got me all set up. He's like, play this, and this one, and I think there's only like 3 games and a cutscene that I need to watch or some shit like that. And apparently, I'll be ready for 3. So if that shit comes out this year, I want to be ready for it. So yeah, but that's all I've been doing, man. That and working and Twitter.
That's right, man. That's right. All right, man. So let's get into it. As Manny talked about earlier, we got to talk about this craziness that happened. So I'm just going to take it back a little bit. So last night, right before bed, looked at Twitter like I always do, and I saw people losing their minds. And I see the top trending things were Drake, Ninja, Twitch, Fortnite. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? People are losing their minds. So apparently, this shows my ignorance about streamers, by the way. There's this dude called Ninja, right, who already had 3 million followers on Twitch, right? He was playing Fortnite with Drake, the rapping guy, right? So, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just tweet out something along the lines. So I'm like, I don't understand why this is a big deal. And I had a thing of like Seymour Skinner where he's like, am I really out of touch? No, it's the kids that are wrong. So I tweeted that shit out. And then like I wake up in the morning and the world's gone bananas. They've gone crazy. Like, this is like the biggest thing right now. Like, I understand it intellectually. It's like, okay, you have a big rapper going into a big streamer's game and they're both playing together. I get it. But at the same time, I'm looking at it from my perspective. And I know Manny could agree with this. I'm like, I wouldn't want to watch this because I'm not really a person that watches streams. So it's a little bit weird, but I understand the hype about it. But there is some news to glean out of it. But before we get to the newsy part of it, let's get some impressions here. But Manny, what do you think of the whole hubbub about it?
I really didn't understand it. It's not like something I would. I mean, yeah, like you said, like I'm not the crowd for that sort of stuff. Like just because some rapper showed up on a stream is not going to make me tune into something.
I think it was more than that, though. It
Well,
wasn't so much of him. It was that once he showed up, other rappers showed up and football players showed up.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
it turned into a whole spectacle of like, oh wow, these are just celebs playing a game that I like to play.
Yeah, I know that's exactly what it is. It's
Whoa,
like,
we're getting alien signals right now. Nick, can you mute yourself if you're? Thank you. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, it's not like like I understand what it really is. It's really is that. Because it's these people that you wouldn't probably normally associate with gaming being involved within the gaming sort of community. I understand that sort of stuff, but for me, obviously because I'm not that demographic, I don't exactly get it, and it's not something I would actually go toward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and then you count that those guys all retweeted they were on, and Drake had like 37 million followers or something.
Exactly. So and the thing is, the other thing about this situation is that it was a bit of a marketing ploy because they did set that up. It wasn't like, oh, hey, he just dropped in.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's not.
It wasn't. Yeah, that. But I don't know if I think everything else happened organically. I think
yeah.
He said it. Ninja and Drake set it up to play. Obviously, that was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But for all that other stuff to happen, that was just like, oh wow, okay, this is happening.
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this. It's like it's cool that it happened, but I feel like it's not officially that much news, at least to me. And it seems like everybody's kind of losing their mind over something as simple as that. But again, I'm not a kid, and I don't know. I guess knowing that the people that influence you and the people that you listen to are playing the same games or watching the same streamer is important. So there you go.
Yeah, by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Robert Workman, who's in the chat right now. What's going on, Robert? Nick, man, did you see this stuff happen? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I really didn't pay attention too much to it. By the time that it was like hot news and whatnot, I was knee deep in some Dragon Ball Fighters.
There you go.
Went to bed. To me, like honestly, like the whole phase of celebrities gaming isn't that big of a deal to me because like celebrities are just people. They put the pants on the same way I do, and
exactly
it's just another person.
That's exactly the way I see it. It's like if Arnold Schwarzenegger we would be excited about it, but if Arnold Schwarzenegger showed up on our show, that'd be cool for us. And I know fans would enjoy it, but for me, I don't feel like it was something that I would want to tune into. It's like, all right, Arnold Schwarzenegger's playing a game. Whatever.
Let
exactly.
Kojima pop up in this stream.
Yeah, I would lose my mind. Yo, listen.
Same thing, man. I'm not.
Stop lying. Don't bullshit us, Manny.
That's exactly it. I mean, I've never been the type of person that kind of loses their mind over celebrities. I've met a bunch of celebrities in my life, and really, it's like, okay, they're cool. Gotta go on my way. That's about it.
Man.
Yeah, and I'm like you, Tony. I don't really know a lot of streamers. Like I heard about this ninja guy. He like popped up in my Facebook feed earlier this week, and all of a sudden he goes from like, you know, big Fortnite streamer to all of a sudden he's like making thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars a day, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what is he doing? What secret does he know?
Yeah, it's a weird thing because I'm like, okay. And I'm not putting these people down because obviously I'm a gamer and all that, but I'm like, you are making thousands. Yeah, Nick, can you? Yeah, because now it is you. We figured that out. You're making like thousands and thousands of dollars playing games. That's insane. Because remember when we were kids, like, you're never gonna make it playing games. Get off your ass and get a real job. Well, he's making everybody look stupid. This guy made. And this is news right here. $250,000 off that 1 hour stream. How insane is that?
$250,000. 200. That's way more than I make in a year.
That Manny, 250,000 is probably more than like some of us make combined.
That's big dough.
Yes,
you know. And this dude apparently makes like 350,000 a month. It's nuts. As far as the numbers go, this is where I'm like, okay, that is news. 635,000 concurrent viewers just watching that. That's a record. Like, there's one other record that was like 1.5 million. It's like Boston Gaming something, E-League thing. That's the biggest. But this one, like nearly half of that, that's still pretty amazing, you know? And as Robert points out in the chat correctly, you know, because we hear a lot of bullshit in gaming, right? We hear a lot of bullshit in gaming. This actually brought people together. For one moment, gamers came together, you know, and that's a good thing, you know? Like, you know, I know we sound like bitter or whatever, but no, we actually do think it's cool that, you know, this happened. I'm just like, I don't understand it, but I think it's cool that people were happy.
I think it's cool. Yeah, I definitely think it's cool, but, you know, I definitely think it, you know, it brings people together and, you know, all that other great stuff. You know, there's no, in that point in time, there was no line, you know, between celebrity and, you know, everybody else. Everybody in there was just playing a game, you know, having a good time. And that's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah.
And it's a popular game. A lot of people like it. So it's, you know, they're going to tune in, not just because of the celebrities, but then they're like, damn, they're playing a game that I like to play.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, though. We got to talk about that because actually, no, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Now, Carlos, get in here because you actually know Drake, like his music and shit. Are you a fan of this guy? Like, what's your relation with this guy?
He likes Popstar.
I like what?
Popstar.
Oh, the game? I've never played it. Pop style.
Yeah. Anyway, did it mean anything to you to have Drake in this, you know, doing this type of stuff?
No, I just thought it was. I thought it was funny. I watched like maybe like 10, 15 minutes of it. I just found it funny, like their interactions. Because I mean, I don't really care. Like, people don't watch Drake because he's playing Fortnite. They just want to see him play a video game. Period. I guess that's the elusive, like the attractive part of the whole thing.
Like, yo, man, is he trash? Is he trash?
Yeah, and apparently, I mean, I don't play Fortnite, but apparently he wasn't that bad. I mean, that other dude was carrying him, but that other dude, I don't know.
It's like, yeah, the ninja was carrying him.
You were showing him the way, man.
Whoa, hold on a second. I'm stopping this podcast right now. All right, Death Strike Virus, who's hosting us on Mixer right now. Thank you for that. This is interesting. He goes, I played a few rounds against Asia Carrera in Ultimate Unreal Tournament 99 back in the day. See, that would get me hyped, man. Asia Carrera, ooh, fine ass woman too. You know,
Asia Carrera is Tia Carrera's sister.
Yeah, okay. Man.
Because I know Tia Carrera.
Well, Asia Carrera is the porn star.
She's the porn star. But the thing is that she's also, back in the day, there used to be a lot of interviews with her because she was a crazy gamer.
Yeah, that's right. That's
PC
right.
game and everything.
But yeah, you know, what else? So yeah, so Carlos T goes even a big deal either, and you are like, are you a Drake fan or you just know him? Like, what are like?
No, I like some of his music. I don't think so. He's one of the biggest artists out there right now. Not just for being a rapper. Like, he's one of the biggest like musicians out there. So it's like if you listen to today's hip hop and stuff, it's unavoidable to not listen to his music. So and some of his music I do enjoy. I actually kind of like that Hotline Bling song too. It's kind of catchy. But yeah, it's. I mean, I admire people. Like I would be interested if, for example, someone else played a video game but that was knowledgeable of it. Like just having a celebrity for the sake of playing a video game is not interesting. But if they know about video games, it's kind of interesting. If they're kind of informative about like what they do and stuff like that, it's kind of interesting. Like I mean, having like this is why having Drake is kind of cool. Like he's like playing a video game with some dude, right? And the dude can ask him any question. So like if there are people who are interested in Drake as a personality, they kind of get to see that, if that makes any sense.
Yo, and here's my other question. I don't. The only thing I know about Drake, he's the meme guy. He dances funny. That's all I know about this guy. Does he actually have? Because I could have sworn I heard an accent. Does he actually have
Canadian.
an accent?
He's from Toronto.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I was hearing like a British accent. Like, I thought this guy was Canadian. You know?
Oh, he puts Jamaican accents and shit. Like, but no, I mean, from that song, like the song that I sent you, right? The Hotline Bling one is what you're talking about.
I know. I'm talking about the stream I was watching. I could have sworn this guy had an accent.
Oh no. He's North American.
Yeah, no, the shit you sent me, I had that shit on mute. I'm like, what the fuck is? I heard 2 seconds. I'm like, this is trash. You know? Yeah, I can't. I used to love hip hop and rap back in the day, but after 1996, it just became trash to me. Can't listen to that new stuff anymore. But yeah, again, it was cool. But also, the other thing I want to talk about, this is okay, because Fortnite is already like blowing up like a lot. Like this is probably gonna push it like to a whole other level, you know. And I gotta ask the obvious question: do you think, maybe not because of this in general, but this could probably help? You think is gonna surpass PUBG this year as like the most played of that type of game?
It's multi-platform, that game, right?
Yeah, because to me it seems like, you know, I could be wrong because I didn't really play those games, but it seems to me like Fortnite is a more polished version of what PUBG is trying to be, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, isn't like a subset of that going into mobile?
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah, they have one, and PUBG has that mobile beta.
Yeah, so like all of this, like if you think about it, the formula was perfect for this to happen. It's not only like the world's most famous rapper, along with one of the most famous Twitch people. I think he has like over 2 million followers, or something like that, some crazy number. And Fortnite is a game on the rise. It's a game that's like really like getting everyone's attention. It's our favorite word. It's in the zeitgeist.
Yep.
Yeah, the zeitgeist, the throwdown word. By the way,
and I feel like that pushes it even more. It's then.
Isn't that the game Drake played? I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things, and I mean, that's definitely marketing. You know, it's like, okay, but the thing is that it's not like marketing the way it used to be, where it's like, hey, you just got some. Hey, look, it's Jack Black. He doesn't play video games, but he's on the video game, whatever thing.
It's organic. I mean, all of it is pop culture. The game is pop culture. You know, look at all the people that are playing. There's millions of people playing it. So it's not like he was playing some obscure indie game and they were like, "Oh my god, do you see what he's playing?"
I wonder if the same thing might happen if there was an indie game. I don't think it works that way though, because I mean, you have guys like Elijah Wood, who's like a crazy gamer, right? But you know, he was in Broken Age.
It happened with what was his name? The guy who was high playing Bastion, and he kept rewinding it, and he posted a video of like, "Oh my god, look at this guy! He could jump. This is the best game ever." Bastion.
You talking about Soldier Boy?
There you go, Soldier Boy.
Oh yeah, damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but that was an indie game, and he was hyped on it, and he was sending videos like, "This is the best game ever."
That video was funny.
Yeah, a couple of things here from the comments. Shout out to my man Jeffrey Wilson joining us.
What's up, Jeffrey?
He goes, Tony is the old man yelling at clouds, which is also me. Yes, I am the old man yelling at clouds. And Robert says that Fortnite debuted on mobile beta tonight. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And also Czar is great. He goes, damn, Tony, you quit hip hop around the same time I did. I gave up on it around the time when Aliens came out. No. I gave up in 96, not 86. 86, like rap in the late 80s, early 90s was fucking awesome. Best stuff. After that, I'm just to keep being real, pretty much after Biggie and Tupac died, that's when it became too fucking commercial. All they talked about is just bitches and drugs and guns. I'm like, come on.
You know, by the way, they were doing that before that too.
They were, but there was other stuff. Like, where's the fun rap? They don't have that shit anymore. Not really. You know, Humpty Hump and shit like that. They don't have none of that. The Fat Boys.
It's still out there. It's just not getting radio play. It's just not getting mainstream. It's still out there though. You go to undergroundhiphop.com, you'll find a bunch of it.
My man Tone Loc. I could go on, man. I'm gonna date myself right now. You know. But yeah, good stuff. I don't know if you guys have any last thoughts on this.
I mean, I never got my opinion.
Yeah, Rico, what's your reason? Because do you even care about any of this shit?
Okay, well, when it comes to Drake, I know my family members and my sister-in-law, they love Drake and all that shit. So I've heard a decent amount of his songs. Hotline Bling, I thought it was okay. As far as this whole celebrity getting into, well, not really getting to, but being a part of, like, I guess the most popular game that's being played right now. Here's the weird thing about it, at least when it comes to like this past month. Within this past month, we're gonna go with Drake first. Drake on Fortnite, and then like a week or two ago, we had Kim Kardashian. I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter, or no, it was Instagram. She posted a picture of a anime character from an anime that's airing right now called Darling in the Franxx, and it's this anime character with really long, like, thin hair. And she had a picture of herself side by side this anime character, saying that, oh, I got my inspiration from this character. And, you know, all of the anime fans are like, whoa, Kim Kardashian watches anime. And they went all fucking insane. And then, like, a week and a half before that, around the time when Black Panther was, you know, it's still hot now, but when Black Panther was, like, crazy when it just came out, people were pulling up old videos of what Michael B. Jordan said about anime, about how he loves anime. And then, you know, the anime fan base during that time was like, oh, Michael B. Jordan watches anime. Look. You know, so it just seems like lately, comes to like the past month and a half, a lot of celebrities have been coming out about either anime, manga, video games, and it's weird because, you know, remember, these are the things that people were considered, you know, the majority of people would consider uncool. But now that all of these celebrities,
it's acceptable nowadays. That's what it is. Yeah. Like that shit would ruin your career back in the day. You admit that.
Sam Jackson said for years he watched anime. He in fact helped fund Afro Samurai.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He said that he loves that. He loves it. And he'll even mention all the old ones too. Be like, yeah, I love that stuff.
And then who was it? Snoop Dogg. He plays a lot of video games.
Oh yeah, we know that shit for years. Yeah.
He's in Call of Duty.
Oh, wait, hold on. He's in what? And Techno Fabulous shut up. Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
I gotta give it to you, brother. I gotta give it to you. By the way, Deathstrike. He rightly says people like knowing that celebrities and athletes have the same interests they have because it's a sense of validation. That is true. Oh,
that's definitely true.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Michael B. Jordan likes anime. That means I can like anime.
You know? And you see like freaking tweets of people making fun. It'll be like in the tweet, it'll say, girl says, oh, anime are for fucking nerds. How could you fucking losers watch anime? And then, below it'll say Michael B. Jordan says, I love anime. And then you see the girl says, oh my god, I love anime too. Naruto with the spirit bomb, right?
And with the Destructo disc.
Yeah. So I'm just like, what the fuck? A lot of, they're not lying, man. Some of these chicks, man, they'll flip on it as soon as they see Drake playing something or say something about anime. They'll flip too.
Fortnite game.
Mm-hmm. I love that Fortnite. Okay, bitch.
I'm surprised your family did. I'm surprised your family didn't roll up to you and be like, "Yo, Riku, you play that Fortnite game?"
Oh, can you send them a friend request so we can play?
Yo, because Riku's from the islands, right? That's not why I imagine his family sound like. Hey, Riku, you playing that Fortnite?
Yeah. Yo, I just think that whole celebrity and anime and video game things. It's cool that it's all coming together, but gotta watch out for some of these frauds out here too.
You know, yeah. Jump in here, Nick, man.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it might be a grab at attention, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, if they were fans with it, why they wait so long? In my opinion.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
like,
you're right.
Yeah, you know, like, why aren't you going to the cons? Why aren't you, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's just a facade, in my opinion, a grab at attention.
Well, they all do
maybe
it. Remember, Kim Kardashian was wearing metal shirts. She had a Morbid Angel
man,
shirt.
You know, she ain't listening to no Morbid Angel.
Morbid Angel?
You ain't listening to no Morbid Angel.
Yeah, no. I remember that they were wearing shirts. Like, what was it? Was it like Anthrax or some other band? And then that other band was saying like "kill the fucking Kardashians" or something like that.
Jeez.
I mean, like,
Well, that was it. Morbid Angel. That was Morbid Angel. They're
yeah.
Norwegian.
Okay then. Yeah.
Black metal band.
And they're just clueless. You know, like, in my opinion, the Kardashians, they're just clueless. You know, but whatever. Yeah. They're irrelevant at this moment. Drake, I don't know. Is he a gamer? I doubt it.
I'm sure
I'm not questioning this man's gaming creds though. Okay.
I'm sure. I don't think he's. I'm sure it's like a lot of different things. I don't think he's a gamer. I think he just may play a little bit. You know, like play whenever he wants. You know, whatever. I don't think he's like, at the level of that.
Well, he says that he says that he plays the game in between recording sessions at night or whatever.
But so it's like
I mean, most people can say they do that with Call of Duty. Does that make them a gamer? Not really.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Sure, Fortnite's not a game that you just jump in like, I've been playing these type of games forever. So I have a feeling he is a gamer. He plays other games, and now he's hooked on Fortnite.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
There's some sort of guy out there that just sits a celebrity down and says, okay, so what is your favorite this or what is your favorite that? And they come out and say, okay, I like this, I like that. And they talk a little bit about it. I can't give them the benefit of the doubt because at this moment, it just looks like they're just like riding the wave.
Like you said, it sounds like a marketing ploy to you.
Yeah. I mean, well, you said what did you say, Adam? What did you say? The whole thing was set up before they even.
Yeah, it was.
What happened? But the thing is, all right. So, Drake is a fan of the game, and he's also a fan of Ninja. He watches his stream, so he sent them a private message. He's like, "Yeah, we should play sometime." Okay. So then they just set it up, and they were playing, and then all these other people started coming in, and then word spread because they were posting like, "Yo, we're playing this game," and I guess other Drake's celebrity friends started jumping in, and then they got involved in the game, and then they sent out the tweets that they were playing.
Yeah, when it comes to something like that, like you said, it's all what's the word you used? Organic?
It's like pre-orchestrated.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's organic. Yeah, it just happened.
That is fine. It definitely helps, like Fortnite, because I wouldn't be surprised. You know how Fortnite has their little taunt dances? I wouldn't be surprised if like Drake's little dance that they had Nathan Drake do in Uncharted 4 multiplayer being
probably working on it right now.
They're probably working on it right now.
He just gave us big money right there.
He did. He definitely did.
Right, and dudes are gonna buy that shit.
Epic is like, God damn it! How come we didn't think of that?
They're gonna do it now. By the way, I like what Deathstrike says. He goes, the true litmus test. Ask him Quake or Unreal Tournament. Yo, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. I like that. Hello. Yeah. By the way, shout out to Mr. Brian who just joined us. What's going on, Brian?
Hey, people. You have to love them farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brian, what's your take on this? Then we'll move on to the next topic. What's your take on this whole Drake Fortnite Ninja thing?
I'm kind of indifferent because it's a game that I don't care about, and it's a rapper that I listen to sometimes. So I'm kind of like, it's bound to happen. I mean, like Drake is hugely successful. I don't know who Ninja is because I don't follow their Twitch.
He's a streamer.
Yeah, but I have no idea about him. So if he's big, then it's two big people coming together, so they're bound to do well. So hey, but at the same time, it makes gaming look a lot more legit. As we can have more quote unquote famous people playing games. That's everyone plays games. So accept that gaming is a thing, people. So yes, it's a good thing in terms of gaming in the public eye, as lately gaming in the public eye has not had good image. So yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's a
got the
great
whole
point.
Donald Trump thing with trying to mess up video games and whatnot.
Whack ass highlight reel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
was
horrible.
fucking stupid. By
So
the way,
it's good positivity.
yeah,
on it.
Robert brings up a good point. He goes, Epic is actually hosting this big E3 tournament with 50 celebrities and 50 pro gamers. So there you go.
Yeah, I heard
Oh,
about that.
shit.
They're calling it like party night or something. I think if you go to Twitter and type in hashtag party night, apparently a whole bunch of celebrities are supposed to come together and do some Fortnite thing.
Uh-oh.
Malik was like, I'm trying to get in there. I was like, okay, you do your thing, man.
I bet Robert already got his invitation.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on here. Just some random news, but this is interesting. Again, we've been telling you guys this shit for a while. So today, Microsoft talked about their future for their cloud-based service, and the way they're wording it, it seems like we've been telling you, may replace Xbox in the future, man. Like they said, they want you to be able to play their games on any device, anywhere.
Oh, they've been trying to do that forever, though.
So now they're really trying. That's the thing. Like Adam, you talked about that. Like they've been trying to do this, but now they're really trying to get it going. Like so you can play games anywhere on any device. That's the thing I'm sticking with. Like, what do you mean by any device?
The problem is, that sounds all great, but it all comes down to power. You know what I mean? It's like you want everyone not just to play everywhere, but to have the same experience. To say, wow, this game looks just as good as it does on the console on my new tablet or the X tablet, whatever they create to do it. You can't do it on a phone. You can't do those type of things. So you can't half-ass it like when they did with Halo. Remember when they tried to make the Halo game for their phone?
Yeah, but I mean, what if you could stream Halo to your phone?
Yeah, they tried that too.
And
it's all janky and shit. They tried to do it on the tablet too.
Well, that's what they're trying to do here, apparently.
Man, I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, then just go all out and make your own version of the Switch. Because it's just a tablet with controllers. So do that. They already have the Surface. That's right. They try to do it on the Surface, where you can do the stream to your tablet, and then you can do the controls through there. So you can stream to the tablet, and then you can pair up your Xbox One controller onto that.
Yeah. And let me just read some of this up, because they said they want to throw this out there within the next 3 years. And they said what we're doing with Game Pass and creating a subscription-based product where over half the content is third-party content. I would say we're getting started from a subscription product perspective. Interesting.
Well, that's, they're just going to get some money that way, but it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky to see how they go about doing it. I'm telling you, I just think they should just make their own version of a Switch. Just add, controls to a tablet. They have the Surface already, so no one's gonna be like, "Oh, you're copying." They'll be like, "Oh, well, you do have this, so just make a controller to work on it, and then figure out how you're gonna do the games."
Yeah,
I don't know. This is kind of this seems like they're just hedging their bets. They're getting the infrastructure ready in case anything happens with their.
The one thing is they definitely have something planned, because you heard about this big E3. This is going to be the Omega show, and they're going to have it at their event center and the whole thing. So
hashtag wait for E3.
Yeah,
so if they're going all out, something's going to happen. They got something up their sleeve. They have to.
Well,
and it's not
the
going
thing
to.
You said the same thing last year. I just want to remind you.
Yeah,
that.
you did. And
No, I didn't say that. This is what they said. They said
you did.
This is going to be their biggest. They said this is going to be their biggest.
Okay.
No. What you said last year is like they have to have something.
No, not. I'm not. All right, let me understand. What I'm saying is they have to have something. They said this is going to be bigger than any other E3 event they've ever done. So they have to have something to show off to stick with that.
Okay. Yeah, I see
that's
what
what I'm
you're
saying.
Yeah, I got you.
So if they're saying that, then they must have something up their sleeve that we don't know about.
That's like everybody, as everybody comes out of a new album, like this is the best album, the greatest thing we're ever gonna have. They can't what are they gonna say? What are they gonna say? Oh yeah, this year's gonna be pretty mediocre.
Yeah,
they're never gonna say something like that.
No.
By the way,
the thing is that they actually left the event.
Apex is saying that Adam is not wrong. They are hyping it. So
they're doing something. I mean, and the fact that they decided to do it in their event center, they're actually pulling out of E3. So you're going to go there for the first time in the longest and not see one of those big booths. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
We talking about Microsoft?
Yeah, what's going on, Brett?
What's up?
Oh, my nigga Brett here. What's good?
What up, man? Yeah, I gotta say, Microsoft pulling out of E3, that's not a good sign. I don't care how Xbox want to spin that.
But we'll save that because we actually do have that question for Sunday. But Brett, what are your thoughts on, Microsoft again saying, "Hey, we're gonna go cloud gaming. We're gonna go cloud gaming." This is like we've talked about before. They may be going to just having the Xbox brand be just a service.
here's the thing. There's the direction that the market is going, and then there's the direction that the consumers are willing to accept the market going. And this is the same problem that Microsoft had before, where they weren't really far off in their predictions, but the things that had to be done for those to come true, that's the things a lot of people had to have problems with. Yes, we will move to cloud-based gaming. Yes, we will probably not have we'll probably have a fucking key shipped to us in the near future. It's going to go the way of Steam. We all know that it's going to go that way. The problem is that there's certain hurdles that we have to cross in order to get there. We can't do gaming as a service until we have a complete infrastructure, or rather, let me say, you can't do gaming exclusively as a service until the country has a more reliable infrastructure. And that is slowly getting better, and in 10 years will probably honestly be the norm, but right now that's not where it's at. And so you run the risk of shocking your customer base by saying, we're going to do this thing, or we're going this way. And this is the thing that Microsoft isn't learning. They cannot push the future onto people, and much less they cannot freak people out with the restrictions of the future. Yes, if you went back 15 years ago and told people all about Facebook and all about your cell phone and how it knows where you are all the time, and it can tell with the place that you've just eaten and wants to know what you feel about it, so it can tell other places about the place that you've just eaten to see if they have good tacos, that would freak you right the fuck out. 15, 20 years ago, maybe like, wait, so my phone always knows where I am, who I'm talking to, what I'm doing. In the future, like, if I see Manny on the street, my phone may ping me and be like, I noticed you saw Manny. How is Manny doing? Like, right now, that seems creepy as shit. But in the context of the future, by, inches and, inch by inch, we'll get there. But you can't just spring that on people. You can't just throw that on people. So yes, Microsoft may be gearing towards having cloud-based computing and technology and service. Right now, that's just going to scare the shit out of anybody who's listening, especially when, and this is the part that really gets me, your customers are very clear, Microsoft, in what they're asking for, and they're asking for games. And I realize that your point is you don't know what you need right now. We're future-proofing this for you. But you can't tell and trust me, this is coming from a tattoo artist, okay? Half of my job and half of the people in my profession have the original sin of having somebody come in with a stupid rose tattoo and giving them the option of, here's a really cool rose tattoo. You can't fucking do that. It may be the best option. It may be the thing they're going to be happiest for, but it's not anywhere in line with what they've wanted. And you have to lead them there by inches and degrees. You can't just throw out a badass rose and skull kind of thing. Be like, how about we go there? You show them all their options. Well, here's your different styles. Here's your different, the different ways that you can go with this. Have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing this? And sure as shit, if you give them all of their options, generally they pick the best one. But again, not always. I'm working on an illustration for a card game right now where the first one I turned in, like, I was really happy with the coloring because, I blended everything, cuts, fades, highlights, that whole thing. It came back. It looks too rendered. It doesn't look charming and low budget enough. It looks too professional. So I actually had to go through and pull out 9 of my fucking layers. I'm sure Manny's probably horrified in just hearing this. I had to pull out like 9 of my layers and only do cell cut shading. That was the only thing that these guys wanted.
I'm gonna tell you this. I've done way more than that. See, in comics.
So you don't get to determine what your consumers want. They determine what you produce, and Microsoft kind of has that backwards.
Well, I think for comics, it's more like it's not really the consumer so much as it's the editors making their own decision as to what the people want. It's not really always what the people want.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty weak example, but you get the
yeah, but I understand where you're coming from. So yeah.
The idea kind of holds up. Microsoft is not doing real good at listening to this is what people are saying they want right now. I mean, if they coupled their current message with, plus we got a whole bunch of exclusive games coming out, I think everybody would be happy. But they really need to worry about pandering to their audience a little bit because historically they've not done a very great job of that, and it's come back to bite them in the ass. So that should be something they're focusing very heavily on. I'm not saying that they're excluding it. I'm just saying that it should be more of a priority than it seems to be.
The thing is that you remember not long ago we actually heard that Microsoft bought a company that was into streaming and stuff. Like nobody was like, oh, everybody's like, oh, what is this bullshit company? Well, that's what it is. And we even said
they're setting up the pieces, man.
They're setting. They're putting the run. You know, I don't know why anybody has any doubt where Microsoft is going. The runway is all lit up, and they're just waiting to land that jet on it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Brett, I want you to meet Nick, our guest tonight.
Hello,
What's
Nick.
up, man? What's up?
And you got the Mario hat. Fantastic.
I got it on.
Right? Yeah.
You still hearing that interference noise, by the way?
No, I don't hear it anymore.
All right, I switched mics. I don't know what the fuck was up with my Turtle Beach.
Yeah, but anyway, what are your thoughts on where Microsoft is going with this whole cloud-based gaming shit?
Honestly, man, I'm a physical collector, so for people like me, it's tough, man. Like, it's weird when you don't have something tangible. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like almost like you're renting. Like, and they can pull it at any moment they want. And
I mean, technically you are.
Yeah. It's not that you are renting it, and they can pull it from you. So
and that's my problem with Game Pass. It's like they can take that at any moment, and it's my same problem with Netflix. That's why I've got a huge DVD collection. It's like, like I like the streaming service. It's easy. It's affordable. It's cheap, but you can change your mind on, paying for a license, and it's gone. The game's gone now, and you can't get it back.
I mean, we've seen this happen before. I mean,
Ninja Turtles, remember on PS3?
Ninja Turtles was not under, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, that side scroller. That's gone because Ubisoft lost the rights to it, both of those games, and the licenses, so they can't have those games out anymore.
Yeah, but this thing, the cloud thing, is taking it to another level. Now you're not even like downloading the game to your system anymore. Now you're streaming it off of their servers.
They should know that doesn't work. Look what happened with PlayStation doing it. The PlayStation now, it's horrible to play those type of games.
Yeah,
when they're streaming, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and with the we've talked about this a bunch of times. The infrastructure is just not there, but that's where Microsoft's going. Like Manny said, they're building the road right in front of you, but you're not choosing to see where they're going.
Yeah, they're going. Right. What is the future of the Xbox division is that it's connected to their Windows world. So in other words, Xbox games will work on their tablets. Xbox games will probably work on their PC. It's just the thing. It's just the ecosystem of where games exist. Their games exists. So, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Also, another thing too. It's like they push so hard with the One X, and all of a sudden they're like, they're going on this cloud infrastructure. It's like, well, you need to kind of make up your mind. Are you gonna push like this system, or are you gonna push this infrastructure that is like a rental based type of gaming service? Like, in my opinion, if you're gonna have a console, keep it a console, keep it traditional.
Yeah,
Don't do this whole cloud-based crap.
They're trying to do both at the same time, have their cake and eat it too, as it were.
Yeah,
it's
like too much.
Yeah, because they're trying to piece the current guys that are just physical, then they're looking forward to the future. Because let's just be honest, it probably all will be digital in about 10, 15 years. I know, Nick, I know you don't like hearing that, but that's probably going to be the case. You better hold on to those game cases behind you tight, brother, because that's it.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna go there. I mean, it's just like it's gone there for all other mediums. It's gone there for books. Basically. It's gone there for music. It's gone there for movies. And I remember for a long time the music industry was like, that MP3 stuff's never gonna work because of the compression. People aren't getting the quality. No one gives a shit.
No one gives a fuck. And it's funny about I'm glad you bring that up because think about it, and it's just a fact. CD quality music, it sounds way fucking better than MP3s. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. They're willing to take that sacrifice.
But there's a thing that's happened, and that's the resurgence of vinyl.
Vinyl.
We never thought that an antiquated system of like that would come back. But believe it or not, the compression on those, there really is no compression on the vinyl.
There's none. Yeah.
So what you're getting is even a pure sound, even compared to CDs. So. Which is great, which is insane. So now you find like people are spending $20 on a big old vinyl now.
Remember, there was a point in time where like it was a joke, like, "Have you heard of vinyl?" And the response was like, "What the fuck is vinyl?" But now people know about vinyl again.
Yeah, right.
Weird how that.
As long
works.
as they don't bring back tapes. Tapes were horrible.
Tapes were horrible.
8-track.
Yo, man, bring them 8-track.
8-track, son. Let's go.
Even like the last.
The laser disc. Yo, by the way, I actually saw. I'm not making this up. I was just walking down the street like a few months ago. There was a fucking laser disc on the grass. I'm like, what the fuck?
Somebody just went and threw that right out the window. Hey, look, it's a frisbee.
Yeah, like
life decision right there.
like right here in the projects. I'm like I'm looking at I should have took a picture of this shit. When I came back, it was already gone. I'm like, yo, there's a laser disc here. This is crazy.
It's one thing though, like to talk about like old systems like that, like the last tape player that Sony made, like you could actually skip songs on those things. Like they were super awesome. Like in other words, like those where you could like, how like an 8-track where you could actually, switch tracks and it would automatically go to each one. That's why they called it an 8-track. So, but you could actually do that on an actual tape player where you could fast forward to the next and it automatically stop right in front of the next song.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's crazy for cassette.
Yeah, like I didn't actually know that.
That was like the last. That was like the last generation.
Remember there was a new cassette player that they just released that was like $200-something or some shit.
Yeah, you'll bring back the Walkman, son. Let's go. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Chris Cobra and Fatal Mephisto, who are also old timers like some of us here. They're speaking very fondly about tapes right now.
You know what's wild, man? I bought a 2016 Kia Soul, and it does not have a CD player.
Whoa.
Wow.
And it's not like it's your base model either. This shit was like, I was like, what? What do you mean no CD player? This is foreign to me. Like it had USB outlets galore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
say. It had Bluetooth
USB
connectivity, but no fucking CD player. I was like, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, that's an optional now.
Yeah, it's nuts.
They just give you the radio.
Man, remember when CDs were like remember when CDs were the newest hottest thing? Like, yo, CD, son, this is crazy. Like you had games on CDs. Like, oh shit. Now
days are over.
That's old stuff.
Now Best Buy is not going to sell them into the summer.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. What's going on, Tortilla Senpai? All right. So let's move on here to the next thing. It's also about Microsoft. So PUBG has hit 5 million players on Xbox One. That is nuts. That's one of their most successful games. It's not even technically first party. Again, there's one of those things like I kind of don't get the appeal. I mean, I do get it, but I don't get it at the same time. It's like
the Fortnite thing, maybe.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Fortnite, I kind of understand, because at least that game's nice and polished and shit. PUBG still looks like shit. It's crazy.
Thank you.
It does. It looks like fucking dog shit. I'm sorry. But people seem to like it.
It's the quote unquote new idea. Look, we've all been aware that PC is a testing grounds, right? Like, I think the thing that surprised all of us is how much of a gap there is between PC players and console gamers, as showed by this, because this is an old idea in the PC community, but it's the old adage of it may not be new, but it's new to me. So, this is the first time that you really saw Battle Royale come to console, and console gamers are just all the fuck over it. It's new to console gaming. PC gaming, they're already kind of moving on and doing other stuff, but I hate to say I told you so, but I don't. This is the exact evolution of gaming I called when I was beta testing DayZ 4 or 5 years ago. And, it's only going to continue with, Sea of Thieves. It's coming out. What is Sea of Thieves? The natural progression of a Fortnite type game. It's essentially a battle royale in a world that never shrinks or closes, and it's one continuous progressive match. That's not something you can just throw people into. But with the success of PUBG, all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, this seems like a cool idea." Whereas just a couple of years ago, console gamers it's really hard to get them to swallow the idea of a pure sandbox game. They like their objectives. They like their chivos. But we're moving that way. And so I think it's actually, while I think it's stupid that we're acting like this is a brand new thing, I think it's pretty cool that it's making it to consoles. And I told you so.
Yeah, that's true. Deathstrike actually does bring up a good point that he says that one of the reasons those games are really, really popular is because they're really, really big on streaming services, which is true,
well, not just that they're big on streaming services, but this is something that I said when DayZ originally came out. The fun of a sandbox game, particularly the thing that was revolutionary to me with DayZ and made it incredibly viral, is there wasn't anything you were supposed to be doing. And so what that meant is you had organic gameplay that built up, and you had sequences or events that you couldn't really recreate. Like the story I always tell people about, there was the one time that Rachel and I were running through a field. She went down with a broken leg, and suddenly I was faced with the decision of having to go into town to find some morphine for her. Well, the town is full of zombies, and it's full of other players.
Well, at first I thought you were talking about real life. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, but that's the cool thing. Like I had to go into the town where there were other players. I had to sneak through a bunch of zombies. I had to get to the front of a hospital, and then I had to kill another player on my way in there. And I knew that the city was full of player killers looking for other people who have already harvested loot. It's an easy way to get loot. So I had to kill a player on my way in there going through a school. I had to crowbar a dude to death with a sniper rifle because I heard him taking pot shots at another player. And then as I'm going there, I know that there are other players around me. I can hear gunshots going off in the distance, and I have to shatter the front glass of this hospital. I shatter the glass of the hospital. That makes a lot of noise. Zombies come pouring everywhere. I have to pull out my sidearm. My axe isn't enough. I have to start shooting zombies in the face as I'm running up hallways. I'm running to the top floor of the hospital. I see a thing of morphine. I grab the morphine. Now I'm on the roof. There's zombies pouring in from everywhere. I see players running out of the buildings to the foot of the hospital, coming up for me and my gear. My only choice, my only chance. I look around in desperation. I see a ladder. I dodge down the ladder, dodge behind a dumpster, take out two zombies, and then run off into the fields as I hear other players taking pot shots at me. I dive, hit the ground, belly crawl to the tree line, stand up, and run for almost 2 hours, avoiding all signs of civilization and staying, far away from the roads until I can finally find Rachel. But now there's a big open field waiting, and there's a town in the distance. I know that this town in the distance likes to hide snipers, and snipers love you running through big open fields. So I'm zigzagging through this field as I start hearing more pot shots coming at me. I belly crawl, hit the other tree line, finally make it to Rachel, give her the morphine, and we're moving north. We're moving north to get away from the fresh spawns and all the people hunting the fresh spawn site, because there's a military base up north that may have access to hide machinery. This is an awesome story that I could not replicate anywhere else. And this is the kind of thing that you show on YouTube and people actually want to see, because it's not what they've seen before. And so the whole genre became flooded with people telling their stories. This is the story of me in the Zombocalypse. And that's the kind of thing that makes it mimetic, because that's the kind of story you want to tell. That's the kind of story you want to listen to. Nobody wants to hear about your God of War story, because it's the same fucking God of War story that everybody else has. But if you make a game, and I'm hoping like Sea of Thieves, you're going to hear some great stories come out of there about how, like, oh, we went to get this chest, then we ran across this other crew, and then we got run aground by a storm, and then we almost sank, and then we had to get supplies. It'll be this big fucking thing that you'll actually want to hear about, because it's not what happened in your game.
Yeah, might add, you gave me anxiety like through the roof with your fucking story right now.
Dude, I felt my heart in my throat. It's still one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time, and none of it was actually supposed to happen. It just all happened to happen.
Yeah, the way you explained it, I was like picturing that shit first person. I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die.
I'm pretty sure that took 2 years off my life, but it was worth it.
That's crazy. But there you go. You can't replicate that sort of stuff. So people like seeing that on streams, because every time you jump into a stream with those type of games, you're going to see something different, So I understand it on that level. And that's definitely helped those type of games, because you really don't know what the hell's going on, So I don't really think, people are saying, oh, it's a fad. I think it's just a new game mode we're going to be, I was going to say stuck with. That makes it sound like negative. It's just a new game mode that we're going to be seeing from now on,
Well, it's a fad until it gets saturated.
Yeah, but I mean, like, think about it like this, right? Like military first-person shooting games, right? You could consider that a fad, but they're still here. They're still very, very popular. So that's what's going to happen. Maybe the popularity will go down, but it's going to be a staple genre, I believe. It's not going to just go away. You know what I'm saying? It's
tough to say that the addition of mechanics are a fad, and I realize that there are times when this has been the case. What I honestly think you're going to see is, and this is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see this kind of choice, freeform, organically grown gameplay actually sewn into narrative single-player games. Like, there's no reason you can't have a Last of Us where you have to hit certain key point or plot points, but then have the ability to actively change the world or generate organic situations between those key plot points. So there might be a happy medium, and it could even come down to the people like Manny and Tony who like single-player games. Maybe you'll see a return to like more free-form Assassin's Creed gameplay, where things are a little bit more procedurally generated and there's 24 ways that you can accomplish your mission instead of just one. So these aren't necessarily ideas that are just going to be cemented in multiplayer, but they're definitely springing out of multiplayer games because they're using other humans as that X factor that changes your game.
I could see this being really big in Far Cry 5.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, that was like the first thing that clicked in my head. I was like, oh shit, this could be huge in this new game that's coming out, you know? So
I'm imagining the next Far Cry 5 will essentially just be like a Daisy kind of art game where they'll say your world in Far Cry is seamlessly intertwined with everybody else's world in Far Cry. So you may just see somebody run through the jungle in your single player game. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to convince people, and Far Cry is already so set up for that. Like, maybe you do it as like a Hunger Games kind of thing. Maybe you're not the only survivor that gets dropped in a tropical paradise and has to resort to ruthless murder this time. Maybe there are others. Maybe it's one of those where they drop, a whole plane went down, but only a few of you can get off the island kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, Death Strike Virus goes, open world, free range gameplay is why you have games like 7 Days to Die, Ark, Rust, and others sell like mad. Yeah, people like that stuff, man. You know, can't deny
Which is
that.
funny because there's not much more to those games than that stuff. They're actually pretty bare bones except for the mechanics of it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like PUBG, there's no fucking mode. They just drop you in there and that's it.
It's just one mode.
Well, the thing is, it's a lot of it is just back end programming where it's like you make sure you build a system that as far as physics and an AI between other things and items and all kinds of other things, and having those systems work. And then within that system, kind of like the real world, things happen. You know what I mean? Like that's at least what I would say was with the final Metal Gear, where it's like it's this open world environment. Yes, you do have your little objectives, but you didn't have any specific trail that you needed to follow to get to that objective. You could come in, you could sneak in, you could blow up everything, you could do all kinds of stuff. And that's what I think a lot of the systems for these games are, a lot of games are moving toward, where even with Assassin's Creed, it's like, it's just a very open sort of system that things can happen, whether it's like the AI just does something on its own or, something that you do within that environment. So it's definitely these games are very much of an expansion of those sorts of open world ideas.
Oh my God, I don't know why I didn't even bring up the Nemesis system. The Nemesis system is a perfect example of this in a single player game. How many of you have told a story of a particular orc that you've had a problem with?
It just keeps coming after you, yeah.
Yeah, remember when we when we played the first game, all of us had different stories. It's like, that didn't happen in my game, that didn't happen in my game. It was the same single player aspect was still in there, but we all had way different experiences with the individual orcs that we fought. It's nuts, man. Hey Riku, what's your thoughts on these type of games, man? I don't think you and I ever really talked about these. I'm gonna guess, just knowing you're not into these type of things, but I could be wrong.
So you're talking about like
PUBG, Fortnite, that type of stuff.
My opinion on those games is that, first of all, it's not for me. So you're right on that. I do agree with Brett as far as they definitely, if you are into those type of games, you're definitely going to come out with a story to tell that's like nobody else's. And that's great. I do agree with you when you said, well, they're here to stay and not in a bad way. I mean, new genres, new things that pop up and are now a part of the spotlight now. It's not just, Call of Duty, which was the big thing last generation. And, before that, it was kind of a diversity, but majority of it was action, adventure, and platformers. So I just think right now we're just moving into, this is what, as you guys say, the zeitgeist. I would say this is the genre right now for that zeitgeist. Everybody's just hopping on the next genre, and it's this right now. I'm interested to see what's after this, but this is definitely going to be here to stay for a while because
I can already tell you, Riku.
Yeah.
It'll be a return to narrative gameplay. I mean, this is just an overreaction to freedom of new gameplay mechanics. All of a sudden, people can make their own stories, and so they're like, "Oh my god!" But they're, sorry, I almost lost my train of thought. God damn it, I did! Son of a bitch!
When you get your thought back. Oh, you got it?
We will roll back to heavy narrative gameplay experiences when people kind of get bored of the minutia that inevitably comes with these organic gameplay experiences. The problem with an organic gameplay experience, and the reason everybody called DayZ a walking simulator, is that you can't direct and make sure that something interesting is always happening. And this is where you get a lot of people of different mindsets. Like some people like me, like I could literally just be sitting at a campfire in a game, just keeping watch over the little settlement that I built. And that could be some of the most intense gameplay, even if I'm not doing anything. You know, you feel your heart up in your throat because, oh my God, something bad could happen. You could lose everything, or you could get taken down, or blah, blah, blah. Other people get really bored about that kind of thing. So the problem with these types of games is they don't really create a very firm narrative. Sure, you come out with really cool stories, but the other 80% of the time, you're doing something kind of dumb. So if you're not really ready to enjoy sitting and waiting for that kind of story, you're going to be out in the cold a little bit. And so my opinion, at least, is there will be people who are like, you know, I really love this emergent gameplay. I love having my own story. You know what I'd like, though? Just to sit back and shoot some things in a killing gallery. Like you'll kind of see it return a little bit to that.
And that's the thing I was gonna mention when you talked about that, and when Tony asked me, "Am I into what is my opinion on these games? Am I interested in these type of games?" I would be interested in these type of games, Tony, if the primary way of combat wasn't a fucking gun. I'm tired of games with guns. I'm sorry. Pew pew pew. I'm done with it. The only game I can see in my future that has a gun in it is Last of Us Part 2. So as far as that, this genre is interesting, is cool, is different. But at the end of the day, as far as from a combat standpoint, I'm still pointing and shooting. So if you give me something that's in the same genre, but you know, I have like a sword or a spear or something,
melee combat, you would be okay with that? Yeah.
I would be down. I would be fucking down for that. Like if they did something like, let's say with the combat of like Neo, but you're still in like this type of like format, I would definitely give it a try. Or even like a Souls type, you know, game, but on a scale of this, I would be down for it.
So what you're saying is if they made a melee game that was primarily an activity, but had a very complex set of parameters that interplayed with each other to make each time you did this activity slightly different, so that you
Are you
could
going to
walk away
mention
with a story.
Absolver?
What's that?
Are you going to mention Absolver?
Carlos,
No, I'm
right to the chase.
I'm going to mention Monster Hunter because that's literally what's going on.
Ooh.
Monster Hunter is a good example of what, you know, is probably the closest thing to, you know, these type of games, you know, as far as like on a grand scale, you know, as far as like map. But obviously these Fortnite games, their maps are a bit bigger than your Monster Hunter World maps. But yeah, I mean, something on that, just, you know, not fighting monsters, to fighting other players, and like you said, basically making your own story out of it. Because yeah, as far as like Monster Hunter, you see a monster, it does this, it does that, and then it sees another monster, and you can definitely get a story out of that. But it's gonna be that different from what everybody else is doing. Not as diverse as, you know, this type of stories that you tell. You know, from the you said that was PUBG that you did that in, or what
No,
game?
that was DayZ.
DayZ, yes, you did that in DayZ.
But you do get stories about huge three-way kaiju battles. Be like, so there I was fighting somebody, and then here comes fucking Diablos, just going in like an asshole.
Yeah,
Diesel
guys. Yeah,
Oh,
I heard
man.
Devil Joe's gonna do that shit too.
Oh god.
But yeah, I'll just say I would be interested in these type of games if it didn't have a gun, because like I said, I'm done with shooters. So
I'd like to second that. Please stop doing guns and first person in these types of like let's just third person melee is fine. We don't have to stop.
Yeah.
We don't just give us a third. Like, for the love of Christ, I understand why anytime there's a survival game, they're like, well, having a third person perspective gives you an advantage because you can peek over a wall. Okay, so give everybody a third person option. And
dude, you see, here's the thing. What about a survival? The key. You know, you would think like the first weapon when I think survival, I would think like some kind of crazy fucking jungle spear or some shit. You know,
with barbed wire.
Yeah.
Give me like a survival game where I actually have like a spear, like a true survivalist, you know? out there
That would
just
be Ark.
There is a game that is totally for you.
These
and is
guns,
it in
son.
third person?
It's called Metal Gear Survive.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No,
Nick,
not like
I saw
that.
you flexing over there, brother.
Yeah.
These guns,
He said,
son.
yeah, those type of guns. Yeah, want to fucking goddamn clothesline a tree down with that shit.
Yo, Nick could like arm wrestle. I know, like bring a Diablos down with his bare arms, son. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. You can freaking choke hold a Beazelgeist, man.
Yeah, right.
it.
Yeah, please throw him out because he's always annoying me when I'm trying to go on a hunt. Damn you, Bezel guys. All right, let's move on here now. Nick, I threw this story in here specifically for you, man. So Sega is going to release a new Genesis collection for the PS4, current gen, basically. This looks like, because originally when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is just the PS3 version just for the new systems. It's actually the PC version for the most part. It has the same interface as the PC version. Like the interface is basically it's in your room, right? CRTV and all that. Your Genesis collection's over there. You pick a game, pop the cartridge in. It's dope, man. But yeah, since Genesis was your first console, what do you think about this announcement?
I like it, but where's Sonic 3?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That was the first thing I noticed right off the bat. And one of the things I was thinking about is like, well, does it have something to do with maybe Michael Jackson's involvement?
That's what people are thinking.
No, it's probably not that. I mean,
so then my second thought is laziness. Or they tried to shove something else down our throats.
Oh my God! Hold on, I just had a thought. Yeah, Riku. Yeah, DLC. These motherfuckers. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. Because the thing is, this Sonic 3 has been in every single one of these collections ever since the PS2. That fucking game's been in this collection.
Well, but they have Sonic 2 and 1 in there.
Sonic
right?
1 and 1 and 2.
And they even have Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine in there.
I think you know what it is. I think what they're doing is they're making that cutoff. Where it's like it's early '90s and then like late '90s or mid to mid '90s, mid to late '90s with it.
But why have the collection is almost virtually identical to the PS3 one except for Sonic 3? It's a weird omission.
Yeah, it's odd, and in my opinion, they're making a big mistake. And my second opinion on this whole collection, as in general, is there's no Switch support whatsoever. And I would love to play all these games in handheld mode versus playing on my high def TV, even if they are upscaled. Like playing, games like Streets of Rage handheld feels a little more comfortable to me, just in my opinion. Like I would love. Because there's no online play involved, these are games that I can play on the plane, on a road trip. Something where I don't have support like with Rocket League. I have to be connected to Wi-Fi or whatever. But on the bright side, they are bringing retro Sega games back into the limelight, like with Altered Beast. Like Wise from Your Grave.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like Altered Beast is one of the classics, and it's highlighted as one of the main games on here, so I can't complain about that.
Yeah, for sure. And here's the thing: I have a theory about why this game is on Switch, and this goes for a lot of games that you would think would be on Switch. I think actually, I forgot who said this, but basically, some companies believe that they didn't know if the Switch was going to be a success or not, so they didn't bother making games for it, right? But now they're like, oh shit. We got to make games for this thing. So I think that's what's going on here. Sega was like, we don't know about this thing. We're not going to bother. Same thing with Burnout Remastered. I'm like, why isn't that on Switch? I think that's what the EA was probably like, we don't know about this shit. But it will be. I expect this shit, all that. Now, here's the other thing I want to talk about. Riku and I had this conversation ourselves the other day. Because Riku, you didn't play a lot. You didn't pick up the collection on PS3, so you said that this is good that they keep doing this because guys like you who didn't play these games have the chance to actually catch up on them.
Yeah, I was saying when I was talking to you that even though I wasn't interested in this last generation or the generation before last or the generation before that, when Sega basically says, "Oh yeah, new generation, here's our Genesis collection," they did it. Like I said, they did it. They're doing it this generation. They did it the generation before that and the generation before that. So Sega knows that, there's always going to be someone like me out there that just entered the current generation that we're currently in, and for some reason they now have a new interest in their Sega collection, and they don't feel like turning on a PS3 or whatever the last generation, or they probably don't have Steam either, or they don't fuck with it like I do. And they're like, "Oh, if it was on my current gen, I would play it." And Sega knows this. So yeah, I was telling Tony that I'm trying to dive through my JRPGs, and one of the good JRPGs a lot of people talk about is the Shining series and the Fantasy Star.
Yeah, man.
The Fantasy Star,
baby. Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. Just like last month, I was like, man, I want to play some Fantasy Star because I'm digging through these Final Fantasy games, and as like people talk about Final Fantasy, your boy Torrance Davis always talking about Fantasy Star on the side, Fantasy Star this, Fantasy Star that, and I'm like, shit, I need to play this, but I don't want to fucking play that on fucking PS3, and I don't really like Steam like that. I think I might have to turn to emulation, and then this shit gets announced. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, except you do have to do emulation for Fantasy Star. Because the thing is, Fantasy Star is not exactly like Final Fantasy. Those stories are connected, so you need to start with that first one.
That's good. Right. I actually like that. I was wondering if there is another turn-based RPG out there that had a story that connects for the next installment, because as far as I know, the only ones that did that were the Legend of Heroes games.
That's right. Now, don't get me wrong; they're not like you don't. Every game has new characters, new planets, and all that shit. But what happened in the last game affects what happened in the next game, so on and so on.
Right?
Yeah, same thing. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm definitely down for Fantasy Star. Age doesn't. I actually had Fantasy Star 1 on my PSP. The collection, the Sega, whatever collection they put on the PSP, that one, one has Fantasy Star 1 on it.
Okay, so there you go. You could do that.
Yeah. And I played it, and I was like, man, this is old. Let's fucking go. I was hyped for it. So this is good for someone like me. I wonder if there's anyone else out there that owns a PS4 and like, I want to play some classic games, because I don't think
they're out there. They're out there. I bought this collection like ever since the PS2 era, and I'm gonna buy this one too.
So you bought everyone all the way up to here?
Every single one of them. I love the Genesis, man. That was the shit. Like I still play Streets of Rage 2. Get out of here, man.
Oh yeah.
Would you say Genesis is Sega's Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, you mean it's their Genesis?
It's their 16-bit. Yeah.
Right.
16-bit. There you go.
I got another theory though too about why this isn't on Switch, and I think it has to do with Virtual Console.
Yeah, they might piecemeal everything out like they did with the original one.
They will make so much more money nickel and diming you with every single game versus a whole collection. That the profits will go solely to Sega.
All those games were available on the Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah. No, Nick, you just fucked me up right now. I didn't even think about that. You're right. And this is Nintendo. This is Nintendo.
Yeah,
you know they're gonna do that shit.
Yeah. And they haven't said one word about it. And if you follow RGT85 on YouTube, he actually made a video about this, and he made a good point, and he said something. Or no, Sega actually commented on his video on YouTube said that they're just focusing on Xbox and PS4. So that just makes me think that Nintendo kind of wants to keep profits to themselves. And I mean, when you think about it, how many times have you bought a Virtual Console game over and over and over again on a different system? I mean, I'm victim to it. I can't tell you how many times I bought Castlevania or Dracula X on the 3DS, and then so on and so forth. Yeah, so that they make their money off double dippers or triple dippers, and I think that has a bigger thing to do with it than anything, because it's not hard to program these games and put them onto a single cartridge, because they're like they don't cost anything as far as memory goes. So
yeah, you see Nintendo right behind Sega. You say a motherfucking word.
Right.
We're working on we're just focusing on PlayStation and Xbox right now. Nintendo's like, yeah, you are.
That's what I thought, boy.
By the way, Fatal Mephisto, I'm going to answer your question now. You may be starting a fight right now.
Uh-oh.
All right. And Nick, you go first this time, because I don't want you to have like PSTD or whatever from last time. You're on.
Oh shit. Oh no.
Final Fight or Streets of Rage?
Man.
No. I can't actually make that. I can't make that decision, because I love both of those games in different ways. So yeah, I can't say either. I like.
I'll
both.
say
That's the cop out answer.
Ain't no cop out, man. You know,
No, because Manny, I feel the same way as you, but I'm gonna force myself to give an answer.
Nah,
I'm saying Streets of Rage.
What if I just said Brawl Brothers or something like that? Totally skip the.
All right, Nick, go first. Final Fight or Streets of Rage?
I have the luxury of having like the Capcom Classics collection on my PS2.
Yes.
Where it has Final Fight and it has Final Fight as multiplayer. Final Fight had a stupid run on the SNES with like no multiplayer or whatever.
Remember they took out the ninja dude.
They took out Guy. Yeah, they took out Guy.
Yeah, Guy. They had like a Guy specific edition.
Final Fight Guy. That's right.
Yeah. But
it was fine on the Sega. It was fine on the Sega CD. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in my opinion, honestly, I like the soundtrack better on Streets of Rage, and that's what really engages me because, like, as a music guy, one of the things that's got to grip me is the soundtrack. So the soundtrack along with the gameplay of Streets of Rage, I felt like floated a little bit better. It wasn't so, I don't know. With Final Fight, it felt a little bit dated if you compare it to Streets of Rage. In my opinion, Streets of Rage looked better, it played better, it sounded better. Final Fight is responsible for setting up, potentially Street Fighter, but we're not talking about Street Fighter, so I'm going Streets of Rage on this.
All right, I'm gonna go myself. This is a tough one because I want to say Final Fight. I like the graphics in that better. I like the bigger characters. I felt the controls were better, and I love the fucking music in Streets of Rage. I like the music better in Final Fight, but there's only one Final Fight that I've ever played. I didn't play those other ones, 2 and 3. Never played those. I played a lot of Streets of Rage games, so I'm gonna go with Streets of Rage on this one.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with Streets of Rage. Riku, do you even like these type of games? I know you say you don't like these particular type of games.
Side-scrolling beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
Well, I like beat 'em ups. I mean,
no side-scrolling because I know you said like the hitboxes were a little fucked up to you. Like if a guy's a little bit above you and you can't hit him, you get annoyed by that.
I used to get annoyed by that, but when it came to Streets of Rage, it seems like they kind of had the hitbox working a bit better than the other games, like the Golden Axes and the other games that are similar to that. I know that one little black kid. What's his name? With that roll on the
skateboard.
Yeah. When he did that little twirling move on the floor, man, it doesn't matter where the fuck he was at.
He hit everybody. Yeah,
that hit everybody. So I was like, yeah, Streets of Rage is my shit. Little. You know what? Anyway,
don't say it.
Nah, Streets of Rage, man. I'm Streets of Rage.
You know what? In Streets of Rage too, real quick before I interrupt anyone else.
Man, this is Throwdown, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, Streets of Rage also had that freaking the first one, anyways. That special attack where the cop car comes up out of nowhere.
That was crazy.
And any enemy in the vicinity is just done. And it was great.
Yeah, man, that game. Ooh, yeah. Speaking about the soundtrack, that song right there is a fucking classic. For that first level. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, and Manny, you're abstaining from this one, right?
I say I like both of them equally. Each in their own ways, and each for certain other things that I don't like. I mean, Streets of Rage 3 was a piece of trash. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
That game was a piece of trash. But 1 and 2 was great, and I played. I always loved Final Fight. And the Final Fight CD is the definitive version of Final Fight, other than the ones that they made later. Because it had every single level in it. They didn't chop out levels like they did on the Super Nintendo.
Throwing shots.
Yeah. Final Fight for the Sega CD was fucking really good. And I love
all the really nice redone music and the stupid intro. Hello, Mike Hagar here.
See, Emilio like that one mom when the kids come up and be like, "Mommy, who's your favorite?" And then the mom's like, "I like all of you equally." And then the kid's like, "Hello."
I like both of those series.
All right, man.
And I wish there was more of them.
Okay.
I used to play a lot of those things.
Let's just say you're saying Final Fight because you're saying Final Fight.
I like both it's Final Fight. It's Final Fight. Come on.
Final Fight CD.
I'm gonna put Manny in as Final Fight.
I love
both of you. I love both of you.
I just want peace, bro.
Playing what's her face? Katana. I can't. What's her name in Streets of Rage? Katana was her name. No, was it something?
What's
else?
the name of the girl again, man? Grace or something?
No, it wasn't Grace. She had an Asian name.
I don't know, but she was cool too.
She was cool. That they got rid of the dude, the black dude, and they replaced her with Skate. I thought that was cool. Big muscly guy. I don't know what his name was.
Vin Diesel.
Max or something.
Family.
Family.
Yeah. Carlos, what about you? Streets of Rage or Final Fantasy? Oh, Final Fantasy. Final Fight.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, definitely.
Yeah. No, that's the Ardcast where we have these mismatched things.
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
Carlos, man, Puzzle Fighter or NBA Jam? Let's go.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
NBA Jam.
Yeah, and Split Second is a retro game.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, now that I think about it, if you're going to put Split Second, why not put Burnout Paradise in there?
Right, exactly.
That's a better game.
Is that a classic game now, too?
It is according to Robert Workman.
Yeah, right.
And his excuses, I'm old.
Yeah, well,
yeah, right. Everything's old to me because I'm old. Wow.
No, it's like, no, if you're old, that means you know what's old enough. But anyway, Carlos, Final Fighter, Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage, man. I mean, for me, I played it the most. It's the game I had on my SNES. No, it was on the regular NES. It was like 91, right?
Yeah, 91, something like that. Bare Knuckle, the original name, man.
Yeah, so I had that. I never had Final Fight. I think I played Final Fight at my friend's house. So I didn't really have.
You had it on the Genesis.
Yeah.
It's funny because I played Final Fight way more, on my Super Nintendo and stuff. But then when I got Streets of Rage 2, obviously I went crazy on that one. Man, all right, so that's another Streets of Rage. I guess that's a clear winner. Brian, what about you, man?
I don't know. I guess Streets of Rage.
All right,
I don't care.
Cool.
All right.
Any particular reason?
Never played any of them. Not my thing.
Oh, Final Fight. You just picked one.
Actual games just aren't my thing. Like I never had an I never had an interest in them in general. The same reason as Riku. Like I just never understood the hitboxes. It's like kind of weird.
Oh, by the way, if you asked me between those two and TMNT, Turtles in Time.
Oh, come on, son. You already know Turtles in Time wins, man. That's not even a contest, Brett, what about you? Streets of Rage or Final Fight?
Battletoads.
Oh, man,
Streets of Rage between those two.
Any particular reason?
Because it was the one I happened to play more when I was. I mean, I honestly not. That's an old throwback that goes back to my days where I could only afford so many video games. So that goes back to that's the one that I played.
Makes sense to me. And Adam, I want to hear this one.
It's Final Fight, man. I was just playing that a few months ago. Remember on my Game Boy Advance. Love Final Fight.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because Final Fight, even though again I love Streets of Rage, Final Fight is the one I go to the most. Like I play it on Xbox and shit.
That was my game. I loved it. I loved playing with the big mayor who was Diesel and was a former wrestler. That was me. Yeah. And he would just spin around and shit, and just whack everybody with back fists. I'm like, just kicking ass,
suspenders,
man.
Bro.
Yeah, right. Suspenders, no shirt. What?
That's the
look. That's the way I want to look when I get to that age.
That's the politician we need today, man. Mike Hagel.
Right.
Anybody talk shit, he's gonna go to these countries and fuck people up. Just rip
only if they steal his daughter.
Oh yeah, that is true. They got to steal his daughter first. By the way, I should point out that even though Streets of Rage seems to be the kind of winner here, we love the fuck out of Final Fight, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
love Final Fight.
Come on now. You get on trains and have fights on the train and stuff.
Yeah, Metro City, man. Fucking those dudes up in the train.
The elevator level pissed me off.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
With Rolento. Oh yeah, man. Oh god. Anyway, let's move on here. Some couple of little fun things here. So, Geralt of Rivia is going to be in Soul Calibur 6, man. That's pretty cool. That's The Witcher.
Transcending history and the world.
I love what this one guy I follow, Gamer Blood. He goes, "Oh, so now Geralt's going to be in a game that actually has good combat."
Oh.
By the way, Roronoa Zoro is also going to be in Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
That's a rumor, isn't it?
Man, we all know it's him, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting as shit, man. Zoro, when was the last time he was in the Zeitgeist?
Yeah, well, not Zorro. The gay blade. We're not talking about it.
No, man, you mean Guy Williams, man, not the gay blade.
The gay blade.
Robert Hamilton.
Yeah.
No, this is a character from One Piece. His name's Zoro also.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well then, I bid you a good night, sir. I must leave.
No, I thought that's what I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Zorro.
No, he's talking about Zorro from One Piece.
Yeah, man, we're talking about the real Zorro.
Yeah.
The guy that made
Antonio
Batman.
Banderas Zorro.
Yeah. The guy who made Batman.
Yeah, the guy who made
Oh damn, man!
Yo, that's great.
Come on,
Yo,
seriously.
Catherine Zeta-Jones in that movie.
If he didn't go to see the Mark of Zorro, or with his parents, he wouldn't have thought to be some sort of crazy vigilante.
Yeah. By the way,
Zorro is Batman.
He is. By the way, Carlos, you bring it up. Catherine Zeta-Jones is fine as fuck in that movie too, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
Huge crush on him when I was a kid.
Just got to pause the show to note how hot Catherine Zeta-Jones is.
Yeah,
Good thing my wife is gone right now.
Yeah, there you go.
And also, let me also add that also Namco Bandai is also going to be putting Noctis into Tekken.
That's right.
Which is weird because he's got swords. Why wouldn't you put him in Soul Calibur?
That makes more sense.
Yeah, but you got guys like Yoshimitsu and
Yoshimitsu.
But he's in both games.
Yeah, that's true. But wasn't he in Tekken first?
Yeah, he's in Tekken first, but they put him in Soul Calibur as like a joke.
But that made more sense though, because he actually
it makes more sense because he had a sword. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. So, but the main reason I'm bringing this up is like, what characters? It could be from any franchise. Do you want to see in Soul Calibur 6? You go crazy.
Zalian from Dynasty Warriors. Yeah, let's go.
Hamaru from Samurai Showdown. He'd fit perfectly.
Hamaru, dude, that'd be awesome. Him and what's his face facing off? I'm forgetting the guy's name. The samurai from Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
Mitsurugi.
Mitsurugi. Hamaru. Man, I'll talk about fucking Samurai Showdown right now, man.
And who else would you
Riku. What's the name of the guy who played Zoro in Sengoku no Basara?
Zoro in Sengoku Basara. There's a Zoro in Sengoku Basara?
Yeah, the same voice actor. The blue dude.
Oh, Dante Masamune with the 6 swords?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that shit would be crazy. He'd be right there with Zoro with multiple swords.
Dio says the Bloodborne Hunter. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be a kind of a fun. That'd be a fun exclusive to Sony.
I just got fucked up right now. Zara is great. Says Conan the Barbarian. Imagine that shit.
Oh shit.
He also says Miyamoto Musashi. I don't know who that is.
Oh, Musashi Miyamoto. Yeah. How you know Musashi Miyamoto? One of the most popular samurais of all time, Tony. I know you don't fuck with Japanese.
I really don't.
He's in every single Dynasty Warriors game.
No, he's in every single Samurai Warriors game.
Samurai Warriors. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you better get it right. No, he'd be a good choice.
Yeah, here's one for you, Riku.
I got
Zhao.
two answers for this,
Zhao Tai from Dynasty Warriors, Riku.
He could fight against Mitsurugi with his katana.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. So I got two answers here. One is a throwaway joke, which would be Yajirobe from DBZ.
Yajirobe!
And the second one would be the Bride from the Kill Bill series.
Oh,
that'd be good,
right?
Then they'd have to pay rights to Uma Thurman.
Just get some blonde.
She deserves it, dude. Give her whatever she wants, man. Yeah. That chick's the boss.
Butterball. He goes Jin from Tech Romancer. Jin, very cool.
Tech Romancer.
Are these just from other video games or from anything?
They're like anime or anything.
Yeah.
He said go wild.
Go wild, Brett. Go nuts.
Make a Nintendo Switch version and put Breath of the Wild Link in it.
Link, yeah, man.
Link was in it. Why not?
Edward Ulrich.
Yeah.
Edward Ulrich.
That'd be cool. But Link was in Soul Calibur before.
I know, and bring him back.
Well, yeah.
They
that goes without saying.
Wait, did I hear this right? Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that.
That's interesting.
That could work.
Come on, that would make a badass Soul Calibur character. He could transmute different weapons through the fight.
Can Alphonse be like a support character for him? I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. But I mean, like you have those characters. I forget what her name is. That has the sword that changes into the sword whip.
Ivy.
Yeah, you could do something kind of like that, where you could have like a sword and a staff and transmute fairly freely between them. I think it'd be fun mechanic.
They could definitely reuse moves from other characters like they've been known to do in the Soul Calibur / Soul Blade games.
Barry says Lino.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if it was going to be a Japanese studio, it may not be somebody that like that very American. You know what I mean?
Bro, they put Darth Vader in one.
They did. They put Darth Vader
Yeah.
and they did have Spawn in one of them.
Yeah, so
I'd much rather see Revan than any other Star Wars character. I know.
And they had Star Killer in there in the
okay, hold on. Now we got it. By the way, I love the chat tonight. Very lively. Little off topic, but I got to do this. Fatal Mephisto goes, if anyone on the panel knows the SNES game Lagoon, I will never miss another episode of this show as long as the show is running.
Wait, is he talking about Bahamut Lagoon?
He's talking about the SNES game Lagoon. So who knows this game? I'll admit I don't know this game.
Wait,
it sounds familiar, though. It sounds familiar.
Is he talking about Bahamut?
Do you know the SNES game? Who here knows that game? Because we're going to lose a fan right now.
Lagoon.
That sounds really familiar.
It sounds very familiar.
It sounds familiar. You know? Oh, one of the kids from Attack on Titan and Soul Calibur. That could be interesting. Get Eren in there, you know?
Eren?
No, I know Bahamut Lagoon. I don't know Lagoon.
Yeah, I don't know Lagoon, man.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, I don't know this one.
Even Adam doesn't know it. This is crazy right now.
No. Oh, no, I see. I'm reading on it and it says it's very similar to Ease, and now I'm interested.
I do. You know,
the name sounds familiar, though. Vicious from Cowboy Bebop.
Bahamut Lagoon I know of, but this is not the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's different. But what about Vicious from Cowboy Bebop and Soul Calibur?
Oh, snap.
Yo, give me my fucking Samurai Champloo.
Ooh,
Afro Samurai.
Nobody said.
Samurai too.
Here we go, Mighty Nerd.
Rurouni Kenshin, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brett,
which one?
Uh-oh.
He wants the Samurai X version of her.
Do you want Rurouni Kenshin or do you want Batosai? This is
Batosai.
Okay, thank you. We almost weren't friends.
Oh shit.
Sorry, I had to text my wife real quick. Yeah, Batosai.
Cool. By the way, we got two, this Mighty Nerd and Deathstrike for Guts from Berserk.
Guts.
Yeah, Guts would fit. Guts would fit very
he
well.
He would fit perfectly in Soul Calibur with that demon shit going on.
Yeah, him and because Nightmare was based off of him.
Yeah, Nightmare is based off of him.
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha. Pick any anime that has a melee weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryu Hayabusa, he'd be really good in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Ryu Hayabusa would be so good.
Well, we're picking. I noticed that we're picking a lot of samurais. We could go a little bit off. Like, you know, you could pick Gengan from Samurai Showdown.
Hey man, I got one.
He has the claw hands.
I got one for you. Arthur Kueku.
Arthur Kueku, who had the chain knife.
Yeah, man.
Do that. I mean, he's an interesting thing. Is that like Soul Calibur does not have a lot of big characters. You know what I mean? Like, other than Rock, who they keep putting in and pulling out, and then that other guy that is exactly like Rock,
Azeroth.
Yeah, Azeroth.
Yeah.
Azeroth.
Yeah, the one with the heart on his. Essentially, looks like fucking Tyrant. His heart sticking out.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'd say bring back, even though they haven't had him in the PSP version, Broken Destiny. Bring back Kratos. Get the new one. This PS4 run with the axe and shield.
Get
beard,
that one, man, with the beard.
With the beard. The axe and shield one.
Fuck the axe and shield, man. It's all about the beard.
You know, it would be kind of funny though, like if you had both Kratoses, because they both would have totally different styles.
That's right.
And they would both have different voices. Like, I will destroy you.
All right,
you will not destroy me.
Fatal Mephisto. I don't like the character, but I can understand where you're coming from. Squall with the gun blade and shit.
Whatever.
He won't talk though, so it's okay.
He'll just be like,
Tony,
whatever.
look at it this way. Would you like to beat the shit out of Squall?
I would. By the way, Squall would actually be good in Monster Hunter because he has the gun blade.
I would actually, I would just say Laguna because Laguna's the man.
No, Laguna's awesome.
Laguna is the man. Squall's just like some guy.
What about some female characters? What female characters can you guys think of?
Oh, let's see.
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta would she'd work in there.
She would be broken.
that's gun based though. Like I'm trying to.
Oh
think
no, she does have a samurai sword.
She has a sword. Yeah, she has a sword.
Yeah, well, it's not her main though.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, when
That
you're
is
doing
the twin
melee.
guns.
No. When you're the guns are like secondary. The
Yeah,
sword
that's
is
the same
main
with
one.
Devil May Cry too.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he might be right. The guns are. I think the guns are.
Now, when I played that fucking game, I was
Yeah, it's like
melee, son.
you slash and slash, and then like boom, boom, boom at the end. Like it's always like,
Yeah,
always
the guns never take a lot of energy. You can keep keep laying bullets into the monsters, and you'd never kill them. But
Yeah,
as soon as
exactly.
you start slapping them with the soft and hard attacks, they're dead. That's just to keep those guns are just to keep the combo.
I remember
the combo
her
meter higher.
I remember her primary melee attacks were like kind of like punch attacks, and then like a whole bunch of wicked weaved stomps with giant stilettos and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Melee attacks. But yeah, what are the females? I'm trying to think of like weapon-based females because like Chun-Li doesn't have any.
Noriko from Heavenly Sword.
Ooh, nice.
And the Hellblade chick too.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, Senua would probably be all like messed up though. She'd probably be a little bit off.
Nah, I mean, Senna will whip some ass though, man.
I mean, she whips some ass.
You can get
maybe they can give her a little bit more hitting moves.
You can get and give her the spear that you get at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Red Sonja is a good one.
Red Sonja.
Female Conan though.
Right now,
Lady Conan.
Is she a Lady Conan? Somebody said Conan earlier.
Yeah.
Whoa, Brad, what's up with the dog?
Podcast dog.
Yeah,
I mean, you can put
Bound to
Rey
mention.
from Star Wars.
Yeah,
Oh, that
yeah,
could
with
be
the
one.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the lightsaber, that's true.
Yeah.
And the Mary Sue.
Carl's trying to get us in trouble.
Yo, Aloy, man. I think that
Ooh,
would be
Twilight
really good.
Sasuke from Outlaw Star. Interesting. Aloy, Aloy is like a range fighter, though. You know what I mean?
No, but I said give her the spear. That spear that you unlock.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, you could, but again, like that's not her primary.
Yeah,
Like I would throw
That's her
Samus
primary
out there,
melee
but like
attack, though.
Samus can kick some ass without her fucking gun, her charge shot, but I wouldn't put her in Soul Calibur.
No, I'm saying that's her primary melee, just like how Bayonetta's primary melee is melee, and she has her guns. That might not be her primary form, her primary way of attacking, but that's her primary melee.
No, I agree. I'm just part of me just feels like there should be a better option.
Okay, how about this? We get a Monster Hunter character with a Kinsek glaive. Is that fine? And you can throw a little Kinsek out at people.
All right, yeah, okay, I'm done with that.
Or you could
Dual blade.
We could probably say Rimlathal from Guilty Gear, the girl with she's got like that those two double swords that are floating in the air.
That'd be cool. Yeah, there's a lot they could do, man.
Yeah.
Psylocke from X-Men.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she has weapons. That'd be perfect. Cool, man. All right, I'm gonna skip.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Brett, you did a me.
I
was gonna do it like a me.
Yeah, that's right. Brian, what about you, man? Jump in here.
Warframe character. Let's go.
My first guess, my first thing was going to be Gus from what's his face, Berserk, but you guys already said that.
Yep.
And then my next joke was going to be like, oh, get Kratos in there because it would be nice to see Kratos in an actual fighting game this year or sometime soon. And so I'm not going to get that with God of War remake. Sorry, I mean Dad of War.
Yeah.
And then I left it up to the one that I thought that people were going to guess, but they never did. Raiden from Metal Gear Rising.
Oh,
yeah, you could do him.
I'm surprised that no one got that.
That's because that game sucks.
He was okay. So
Come on. What about Excalibur from Warframe?
What about Strider?
that's like anything.
Strider
would be.
Strider is also
there you
good.
go.
Oh,
Strider
Manny, 2B.
2B would be perfect. Any one of the characters from Nier would have been.
You guys are fucking me up right now, man.
You could get the character from Scalebound in there.
Yeah, you can do that.
Get the dragon in there.
The Xbox One version can have him.
But Butterball said it too. 2B from Nier should be perfect. Sophia from Toshiden, bringing it back.
I got some females.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Ryoko from Kill la Kill.
Ooh, okay. That could
Or
work.
my personal favorite, Haruko.
From where?
From where?
Cooley Cooley.
Oh yeah, with the guitar.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why not? Right? We're going crazy right now.
That'd be crazy, man.
Oh, I would main her so fast.
That's awesome.
I gotta beat people with a bass guitar. Fuck yeah.
Regina.
I thought you were gonna take that somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
Nope, that's why I had to clarify. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, I should probably not end here.
I like how
quick to the main.
I like how Brett like said Haruka, and I'm like, there's a lot of Harukas. Which one?
Yeah. I thought for a second, I was like, oh, you guys know this. Oh wait, no, you know too many. Okay.
Yeah,
What about Casca from Berserk for a female?
Casca, yeah, she had a rapier, but she'd probably be like, what's his face? That one.
Raphael?
Yeah, Raphael, a little bit.
Would her special attack to be laying in a bed with a 1,000-yard stare?
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Damn, that's messed up, man.
All right, anybody else before we wrap it up?
You can put Griffith in there.
Carlos.
He has a rapier too, though.
Yeah, you could have both of them. They both have the same
Well,
one.
Zoro, what's going
He's
on?
a raper with a rapier.
Hey, Lou, Zoro is probably coming to Soul Calibur, so get hyped, son.
No,
Let's
I
not
want.
get
Hey, how come we're saying Zorro? But why don't you put Zorro in there, man?
Zoro. They gave
Zoro.
Blade.
No, why don't you Zoro?
Zorro.
The only Zoro movie I've ever seen is the Gay Blade, man.
Yo, man, you gotta give Guy Williams the respect, man.
Yo, what if we're wrong, Carlos, and the One Piece character that they choose is actually Hawkeye Mihawk?
Oh, that'd be even better.
or fucking Whitebeard.
What if it's
They're
what if it's
choosing a
Zorro? What
One
if it's
Piece character?
Zorro? What if it's Zorro from Persona?
Wait, there's a Zoro in Persona?
Yeah, that's one of the personas.
Oh yeah,
Morgana?
that's right. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
His persona?
Yeah, it's Zoro. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Remember all the Phantom Thieves are all famous thieves.
Yeah, Carlos is losing his mind right now. What's up?
What about what's his fucking name? The guy that had a chariot stand in fucking JoJo's. What's his name?
Paul Lunatif.
Pornography.
Paul
Yeah,
Lunatif.
dude, man.
Chariot. Yeah.
I got really excited for a minute when you guys said One Piece because I don't know why I heard One Punch and I was like, oh, I want the crab guy from One Punch.
Moomin Rider.
Dang.
That's crazy. All right, man. We'll wrap it up here. I'm gonna skip the Tomb Raider shit because we're about to hit the 2-hour mark. So, Nick, man, I want to thank you for being on tonight, man. Hope you had fun with us, crazy bastards.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, man. It was a real pleasure and an honor.
Yeah. Where can people find you, man?
So I'm on Instagram and what is it? Twitter. Yeah, at nerdynick_91.
I'm gonna follow you right now.
Yeah, on Twitter you can find me doing all kinds of stuff, from being a dad to weightlifting to cosplaying and all kinds of stuff, man. I'm diverse. I don't like to just set myself in one corner. And on Twitter, I just do whatever.
Yeah,
Follow me. I'm trying to get followers. I'm kind of new on Twitter. So.
Yeah, follow this man, dude. Also,
Nerdy Nick what?
nerdynick_91.
Okay, I see.
I'm also on Twitch. I just started up my channel. I'm gonna do various little shows, 5-minute pocket shows. My first one's gonna be Nerdy Nick's 90s Corner, where I just do anything and all things 90s, including games, music, movies, media, and all that stuff. And hopefully, I'll be streaming on it pretty soon.
Sweet, dude. And
Nice.
what about conventions? You planning on attending any this year?
Yeah, my big one is Game On Expo here in August. I can't remember the dates. It's around August 11th, and that'll be up in Phoenix, and then Tucson Comic Con. Hopefully, God willing, I could get to a PRGE or Portland Retro Gaming Expo this year. The owners of Pink Gorilla have been, Kelsey and Cody, they've been asking me to come up the last 2 years now, and hopefully I can make it up there this time. So
yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. All right, so before we wrap up, a couple of things here. So this weekend we're gonna switch things up when it comes to the streaming. We're gonna be streaming some Burnout Paradise, man. That's gonna be good. Now, Adam, my question is: are you gonna be done with WrestleCast tomorrow to join us for this shit?
Oh shit!
You
we do those 4 8-hour shows. Yeah, we're not leading into a pay-per-view, so it should be. What time you guys want to start?
Like 11:30 at night, Eastern.
So yeah, I'll make sure we try to get it at least under 4 hours. Like that's the goal.
You guys are crazy. 4-hour
People
podcast.
think we're
bro.
joking.
That's
It's
nuts.
crazy. We go all out on those. I'm playing Burnout Paradise right now. On
Yeah,
this.
man, this shit is hot, son.
Yeah, man. You notice they moved the map. They moved the map. It's the bottom right. I don't remember it being there, but it works.
But how'd you get it?
What do you mean? I got it by magic. It popped up on my
By magic.
Yeah, because I'm like, Adam, I know how I got it. I got a review copy. How did you
I
get
just
it?
press the fucking buttons and the shit pops up. Well, what can I say?
It's like me explaining shit to my kids.
That's it. I turned it on and shit's there. I'm like, you asked too many questions. So yeah, no, it's cool. And yeah, it uses your gamer tag because, like you said, I was trying to figure that out with the camera because remember the
there's
first
no
one,
camera
required
trophies,
you
no.
take your picture.
Yeah.
And what about the the takedown ones? Remember your buddy?
Yeah,
they
that's not
replaced
there
that
anymore
one?
either. Yeah, they don't have that at all now. They just took them shits out clean, you know?
But they must have replaced it with some
No, they
other
didn't.
trophies.
They didn't replace it with shit. They just took them out.
So there's just less trophies. But
Yeah,
you can still
pretty
get the
much.
platinum.
Yep. I already have 75% of them, son.
I know. You use them cheat codes
No
from
cheat
Hip Hop
codes.
Gamer.
Yo, man, and
No
that game
cheat
didn't
codes.
even come out. You're 75% done.
Hip Hop Gamer got like 100% or some shit. That's
Yeah. Well, no
like, what
cheat
the
codes in
hell?
Casa de Polanco, son. I played that shit legit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the platinum is a little easier to get now just because of the fact they don't have the camera shit. You know,
That camera wasn't. Well, yeah, for people that didn't have the camera, that would have been a pain in the ass.
I had to buy a camera just to get those trophies, man. You know,
You know what I
had-
did?
What?
I let my friend log in and get that shit for me.
Oh, I didn't think
Yeah,
about that.
He had the camera. I was like, nigga, I ain't going to buy no damn camera. This is my last motherfucking trophy. I didn't do this shit. He's
yo.
like, okay.
I bought that camera, got them 2 trophies, never used that camera again. I literally paid for trophies for this fucking.
You could have
game.
just sold it. You could have bring it back and be like, man, this thing doesn't work or
Yeah,
something.
but no,
like
because I was like, maybe I'll use it again in the future. I never did.
that. You're like, man, I'm going to get that move.
Yeah. The move. All right, so yeah, Burnout Paradise Friday and Saturday. That'll be fun. But we will be back with Monster Hunter next week because Devil Joe is coming, man. That's gonna be crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be cool. So let me pull up my graphics here. Graphics, oh god. All right, so thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. It's joined by Emilio Lopez.
Yeah, boy.
Carlos Romero.
I like how this was kind of subtly a Notanime episode.
Ooh.
Damn it.
You know what happens when
Low-key.
you and Riku get together, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about Elfin Lied, though. Yo.
Yeah, no.
Mr. Brian Manjoma.
See you tomorrow, guys. I will be playing Burnout Paradise with these guys, so prepared to have Carlos cry about how much I'm winning.
Yo!
Because this time, there's no catch-up, Carlos. DJ has that catch-up shit.
We
Right
got
now, it's
like
just me and you.
yo, man. We talk about cheat codes. Brian likes to cheat in games, man.
Oh,
Go see
shit.
the stream. Go watch the
Brian-
stream. You'll see it.
Yeah, Brian is a living cheat code, man.
He's like, you just can't believe I'm that good.
Brian's like, it's called skill. Mr. Brett Murdoch.
Like I said in school, that like all
I
big
said Brett
sports-
Murdoch, motherfucker.
Okay, it's my turn. I'm not talking shit. Yeah, like I said in school, where like all the badasses like go to. It's like Jason Statham has been there, and I've been there. You know, so we all just go there, and that's how we
Jason
get good.
Statham, my favorite actor of all time.
Now, Brett,
Do you guys like my Brian impression?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah, Adam Vale.
Yeah, everybody have a great weekend. You know, enjoy it. See you guys tomorrow. We'll talk some wrestling,
No
and
word
then
on
after
Lucha
that, we're doing some
Underground.
No
burnout.
Lucha.
Don't worry, you keep talking about when Lucha comes back. It's gonna come strong.
All right,
There we go.
Mr. Riku-san, one, the only one.
Hey, yo, man, Adam, don't worry, man. I'm watching that Lucha Underground. That shit fire, son. I'm with you,
Gotta be
son.
watching. Don't be talking like Brian was saying that shit, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm just trolling you." I'm like, "Fucking." You remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember it, because I'm still trolling you, son. I ain't watched that yet. No,
Oh,
seriously,
man.
no. I'm going to watch at least one episode the next time I'm on here.
You
got
gotta
you.
watch.
I got you,
episode.
son. Wait, it's still on Netflix, right?
Damn right it is for life.
All right, I got you, man. Next time I'm going to watch at least one Lucha Underground episode. No more trolling. I got you.
I got.
son.
Wait. So, watch the last episode of season 2.
Okay, I got you, man. Don't worry.
Crazy. And my man, Nick Castro.
Yeah, man, it was an honor being here tonight. I appreciate it, Tony, and all you guys. Thanks for bringing me in as one of your own guys. It was awesome. I can't thank you guys enough.
Awesome, no problem. Yeah, we'll have you back on in the future, bro.
Awesome. Follow me back on Twitter, son.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time, man. Later.
Laters.
Peace.